day with the dawn ringing in my ears. Oh, well, I tune into my TV show. No better way, I gotta get myself into gear. Let's go. Oh, and I feel good today with my wake up in the morning espresso. I feel good today. It's my feel good breakfast show.
Wake up and Adam, it is a brand new day. Are you feeling it? Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling energized? I hope you are. Welcome to our beautiful space. I want to say our beautiful new space because it's continually transforming. Thank you so much for all of your advice on how to turn this into such a beautiful place to engage with you, and we are loving it. And we are loving the fact that a brand new month is here as well. My name is Graham Richards. You are tuned into Expresso Live. I'm wondering who that is, dude. Who's that guy?
That is the one smashingly handsome face of one Graham Richards.
Look at how happy he is.
A very good morning to you, Katlaka. We're reporting for duty, bringing all the feel good. How are you doing, man? Good weekend?
You, man. Beautiful.
Yeah,
man.
the start of a brand new month, and that's what we're all about right now on Facebook. As you can see, we're getting our dry humor on. Check it out. The social team were like, June's over, Julying.
Julying, man. Julying. Julying.
You were asking who selected this picture? That's exactly the picture or the face you make after making a joke like that.
Yeah.
Julying.
Julying, man. It's a bit of a dad joke.
Exactly.
You know? I'm leveling up.
So we want you guys to share some of your dry humor with us. Let's have a look at what you have had to say.
Oh,
Daphne,
it's a dad
here.
joke-a-thon this morning. It's on.
Good morning. Back home, so Expresso on at last. Okay, wait, Daphne, get the script, okay?
Where have you been, Daphne? Where have you
says,
been?
check this one out. I'm drinking Fanta while holding 4 sticks. Call me Fantastic Four. Wait, I need another one. All the love over there. Where were donuts born? Wait, but TG Art, you've got to give us the punchline.
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, you teed us up.
We are too old.
It's gonna be that kind of Monday, okay? Get your smiles on, get your dry humor on, post it on Facebook, and we'd love to read those comments a little bit later on. But let's check in with the other side of the Fantastic Four, if you will. Hey guys.
The four. Just the four.
Good morning.
Good morning. Are we feeling as fantastic?
I am, exactly.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a fabulous Monday. My name's Leanne Williams. This gorgeous chocolate specimen of a man here, Tabisa Makabela, everybody. Yeah. And you know what? I got to tell you, as we are continuing our journey of, creating this beautiful new studio space, our W Beauty Room has taken on a bit of a new look. I love every Monday you come back and something's been upgraded.
Yeah.
Our walls have changed, which is beautiful. And then finally we have a place to put our shoes again.
As well, yeah.
So we've
It's
got
really
this
coming to
gorgeous
life.
shoe rack here, and I love it.
Yeah.
I love every single day we add different nuances, and you need to just never miss a show because every day something's going to be added, upgraded. I love it.
Yeah, it's wonderful because I think in the last week we saw on social media, a lot of you sent in some comments when we asked you to join in the fun of really bringing the space to life. You really did. And now we do have this absolutely beautiful wallpaper, not just here, but you'll see those upgrades coming through in many different parts of our studio, which is absolutely fantastic. So let's get this show on the road and let's set you up with some weather update. We start off in Johannesburg. It's going to be sunny today. Sunny conditions with a light westerly breeze throughout the day. Sky remains clear for the entire day. Temperatures will peak midday and rapidly decrease towards the evening. A chilly sunset is expected today. And if you're out in Durban, South Africa's playground, plenty of sunshine with nice warm temperatures. It's a southwesterly wind expected in the day as well. Towards the evening, cloud cover will increase with a couple of showers. Be prepared for rain, Durban, today. And if you're out in Port Elizabeth, it's rainy today there as well. Cloudy conditions with cooler temperatures than the day before. An afternoon shower is expected with a northwesterly wind. As the evening approaches, showers can be expected with cloud cover decreasing. And finally, in the mother city, Cape Town, it's partly cloudy conditions with a little morning rain. We've seen that coming here. A northwesterly wind that picks up towards the evening. Cloud cover will increase towards the evening with a passing shower. Don't forget your umbrellas, Cape Town. You're going to need those.
Yeah, exactly, for the next few days. So what I love about today is you would have probably noticed with all of our boys, it seems to be Suit Up Mondays.
Yeah, it's
I'm
definitely
about
Suit
that
Up
life.
Monday.
Take us to what what you're wearing.
Okay, so what I'm wearing here is I'm wearing a Woolies Classic Collection sweater,
Yes.
which is really nice. So on a Monday, we really do like to take it a bit smart because that's you want to start strong with
Exactly.
with a brand new week, and then we've coupled it with a really nice Edition suit.
Nice.
Edition are coming through heavy with these really nice suits that you can play with. They can be
Yeah.
very formal, but can also be quite nice and smart casual as well in their detail. which is
Exactly.
absolutely
Talking about
fantastic.
smart casual, so what I decided to do was I got this beautiful kind of like knit dress, all right? And then I also had a scarf, and I thought to myself, you know what, just to add more layering,
Yeah.
why don't I put the scarf over the knit dress and
Yeah.
then just tuck it in at the waist with a
Yeah.
belt, bring everything together, cinch it
Yeah.
together, and I think it's quite a look.
It works. It looks
Hey.
beautiful. I mean, I like what you're able to do with your scarves, and I
Yes.
haven't seen many people do this because most people think, "What do you do with a scarf? You just wrap it around your neck." But you
Listen,
know how to really
You can
make a
do
scarf go a
anything.
long way with
Yeah,
you.
no, you can really do anything. And then I've got
Yeah.
some grey stockings over here,
Nice.
and we've kind of just brought everything together, made it a very grey look.
Yeah.
And yeah, hopefully it's not going to be a grey Monday.
You're looking super, super elegant. I absolutely love it.
Exactly. Well, let's take a look at what's happening in the world of entertainment coming up next.
Who's doing it?
Did you hear that?
Buddy, okay, so in Tinseltown, there's always
Yes.
something happening, and I know that Zoe Kravitz has wed Carl Glusman in second wedding in
Her
Paris.
second wedding, exactly. She has been betrothed or married to American actor Carl Glusman at her rocker father Lenny Kravitz's home, and this is in Paris because you need a home in Paris. And many of the stars' Big Little Lies co-stars were there, and also Lenny's ex-fiancée Nicole Kidman, so a co-star and the ex-fiancée. I mean, they're keeping it in the family.
Nice, I love
really
it.
loved it when the two of them.
Yeah, I love that.
Also, A-list members from Hollywood who witnessed the nuptials. Denzel Washington was there. Eddie Redmayne was there. Laura Dern, who stars with her in the show. Reese Witherspoon was there as well.
Yeah.
And of course, news broke in May that the couple had already gotten legally married and in a secret ceremony and were planning a more traditional Paris affair. So they just decided to involve everybody. I like that, you know, because
Nice.
people want to be involved in witnessing your moment of, you know, promising your life to one another.
Yeah.
And the pair have been, of course, dating since 2016.
Wow.
While Glusman had plans of popping the question in Paris, he ended up proposing to Zoe while they were a little drunk in the living room. He was like, you know what, just, I'm going to do it now in the living room. And of course,
I can't think
I
of
would
a
be
more
upset.
romantic.
I'll be like, no.
I really can't think of a more romantic proposal. Right at home,
Exactly,
keeping it nice and warm.
exactly. Yeah,
Eh?
but
No?
I really, yeah,
It's like me just proposing to you now in this beauty room when there are plenty other opportunities to do so. I mean, I won't do it. Please don't get excited.
which is quite an interesting question. Like, if you knew that your boyfriend was just going to propose willy-nilly, I
Anytime,
would be like,
anywhere.
stop. You need a plan. It needs to be epic. I feel like there's people that have done that in this life.
Yeah, man. Listen, there's also another story. I know that Joe Jonas and Sophie
Yeah.
Turner, they're up to something there as well.
Okay, wonderful.
Okay. Do you want me to tell you what happened
love
there?
you to tell you
So,
what
of course,
happened.
we've been, paying attention on social media. If you have been paying attention, you'll know that recently wed Joe Jonas and
in Las Vegas.
Game of Thrones star Sophie Turner, who were obviously getting married out in Las Vegas after the Billboard Music Awards in May, spent all of last week living it up in Paris with the likes of Joe's brother Nick Jonas and wife Priyanka Chopra.
Yes.
Now, they wined and dined their famous guests like Game of Thrones co-star Macy Williams and actor Vilma Valderrama. And a few pre-wedding events all of last week, and they kept it off with a lavish affair on Saturday. Now, there were a couple of showstoppers in the form of Sophie's sister-in-law, Chopra, who wore a stunning lace-detailed millennial pink sari and looked so, so good.
She's a gorgeous one, that one.
yeah,
Imagine your
looks like-
sister-in-law is Priyanka Chopra.
no,
Like,
but-
my sister-in-law is just Priyanka Chopra. And then Priyanka be like, oh, my sister-in-law is just Sophie Turner.
Yeah, you like,
what
always
a
have to be
family.
stepping it up all the time. So it
What
looks
a
like
family.
all of Tinseltown turned up to brighten up the city of lights this weekend.
Yeah.
What are the odds that so many like famous people in like one go and at one place just living it up in that way?
One day is one day.
Yeah.
You'll also get there.
Yeah, we'll be there.
I'm already there.
Oh, okay, sorry.
You need to
Invite
get
me.
there.
Getting Monday started. Everyone needs some Monday motivation. And today's quote of the day comes from none other than American rock star, comedian, superstar, movie maker,
Voice actor, even.
entrepreneur par excellence.
Insta influencer.
YouTube magnate.
Yeah, and short guy. He's pretty short as well.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
He's awesome, man. No,
Kevin Hart.
We love him for the voice that he presents, and he's like everyone else. He's human, and he makes his mistakes, and he also mans up to those mistakes as well. But he had this to say, and I think this is quite pertinent for all of us. People may hate you for being different and not living by society's standards, but deep down, they wish they had the courage to do the same. Thank you, Kevin Hart.
Let that sink into your Monday morning as you try to inspire and motivate yourself to really achieve and tick off those goals this coming weekend.
Embrace your difference. I have an image of someone like trying to fix their hair and it's just not working. And like, Everyone else in your office loves your hair. They love your hair. You just go out there and embrace it. No,
Lewis, we love your hair. We love your hair so much, man.
Ooh, the Formula One, the sport,
what a race
everything. We're going to get into all of our sporting action of the weekend, but first, the news.
Time for us to take a look at what's happening in the national news this morning. Nahau says that it is preparing for a battle with the Public Service Administration Department over the latter's plans to cut jobs as it clamps down on the unaffordable public wage bill. Nahau's against a proposal to cut 30,000 jobs while streamlining existing posts. Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane says the time has come for young people to start their own businesses. Mabuyane says young people must come up with business ideas and set aside 150 million rand to assist young entrepreneurs. On the international front, Google this weekend introduced its new private subsea cable known as Equano. Now, it will start in Western Europe and run along the west coast of Africa between Portugal and South Africa, with branching units along the way. Donald Trump has become the first sitting US president to set foot in North Korea after meeting that country's leader Kim Jong-un in the demilitarized zone dividing the two Koreas. And then finally, it's that time of the year again. We get to watch a fortnight's world-class tennis at the most famous tennis tournament of all, the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club in London, better known as Wimbledon. Now, Wimbledon, which took place for the first time in 1877, is quite special if you're a tennis fan or a strawberry fan. The whopping 150,000 portions of strawberries and cream served during the tournament are almost as important as the tennis played. And then there's Wimbledon's very special employee, Rufus, a Harris hawk that roams the skies above Wimbledon, deterring local pigeons. Rufus is pretty popular with over 5,000 followers on Twitter and a huge favorite at Wimbledon for the past 15 years. Well, that was your 6 o'clock news update. Let's get our very first look at what's happening in the world of sport. Here's Graham.
Let's kick it off with our World Cup news. England ended India's unbeaten run at the ICC Cricket World Cup after beating them by 31 runs in Birmingham last night to reignite their World Cup campaign. In football, South Africa's Percy Tau and, of course, our goal scorer against Namibia, Bongani Zunga, are both hopeful their team sticks to the game plan to play to their full potential in their upcoming Africa Cup of Nations clash against the big guns Morocco this evening. In athletics, South Africa's athlete Caster Semenya won her favorite event, the 800-meter race at the Prefontaine Classic in Stanford, California, as part of the Diamond League series late last night. And in the world of motorsports, very few people calling Formula One boring at this stage. With only 2 laps remaining at the Austrian Grand Prix, Red Bull's Max Verstappen passed Ferrari's Charles Leclerc to clinch a win in a very thrilling race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. We're going to delve into all of those highlights in our weekend review. Of course, throwing forward to today's Cricket World Cup action, a bit of a dead rubber as Sri Lanka face the West Indies at Riverside, and that kicks off at 11:30 South African time.
Well, time for your weather watch on this Monday morning, but before we start with that, let's say a big thank you to Louise G. Sherry, who sent us a beautiful sunrise picture from the south coast in KZN. Louise, you can expect mainly cloudy conditions with cooler temperatures and a light evening shower, temperatures reaching a maximum of 23 degrees Celsius. Thank you very much for those pictures. Keep them coming. We love sharing them with the nation at the start of a brand new day. But let's take a look at those temperatures, more specifically starting off in Polokwane. Your temperatures will be ranging between 6 and 23 degrees Celsius. The highest highest temperatures in the country can be found in Mbombela between 10 and 30 degrees Celsius. Pretoria 3 to 21. Johannesburg sunny conditions, a low of 0 and a high of 18. A cold start for the morning in Mahikeng, 1 your low and 17 your high. Klerksdorp even colder, -1 to 16. Kimberley between 0 and 12, and the lowest temperatures in the country in Bloemfontein between -4 and 11 degrees Celsius. Richards Bay ranging between 13 and 31. Pietermaritzburg 4 to 27. You can expect some thunder showers over there. In Durban between 13 and 27. In Tata 5 to 21. East London, your temperatures will be ranging between 11 and 21 degrees Celsius and partly cloudy conditions throughout your day. Craddock between 0 and 14, and heavy rainfall can be expected in Port Elizabeth with temperatures ranging between 8 and 18 degrees Celsius. A northwesterly wind of 32 kilometers per hour can be expected in George, a low of 8 and a high of 15, while a westerly wind of 28 kilometers can be expected in Sutherland, 0 your low and 6 your high. Cape Town between 12 and 16, Worcester 6 and 13. A bit of rain can be expected in that part of the country as well. Some high humidity in Springbok and temperatures ranging between 1 and 11 degrees Celsius, and rounding things off in Uppington, your low of 2 and a high of 14. But no matter what the weather is in your part of the country, here's to hoping you have a magnificent Monday.
These are the moments I live for.
I was going to say, are we going to do a synchronized sip? Or
Isn't like that the best part of a morning though? Is
really
when you
is.
wake up and you head straight to the kitchen and you make that first cup of coffee. I got to be honest with you, unless it's on Expresso,
Yeah.
I am such a stickler about a cup of coffee. I don't let anybody else make it for me.
Oh, really?
When
Wow,
I'm at
'cause
home,
you're very
I've got to make
specific.
that first cup myself. After that, anybody
Yeah.
can make it. But other than
Yeah.
here, it's got to be, it's
Well,
a thing.
I'll have you know, this is actually not really my first one. My first cup of coffee was in the car on my way to work with Graham Richards, who made me a really special cup
But it
of
was,
coffee.
yeah, man, no, we went with bulletproof coffee. So that's because I want to savor my cup of Java when I'm here.
Yeah.
I have had a sip already. I won't
Yeah.
lie. I've been sipping my coffee behind the
But
scenes.
should we do one more just for
it's
Leanne's
just
sake?
for
A synchronized
Leanne,
one in 3,
synchronized
2, 1,
and
first cup, let's go. Yes.
Oh, that's good.
Go
Lovely.
make yourself a cup of coffee, we'll see you in
At
a
least
bit.
you guys don't drink like Katlejo. You just
Oh, come on, that's right.
Moment in between with McAfee. See you after the break.
Get to a crazy store in your town this school holiday and discover a treasure trove of arts and crafts for the whole family to enjoy, as always, at great value. Paper, paints, modeling clay, sketchbooks, glitter, crayons, aprons, rubber stamps, ribbons, felt tip pens, learn to paint sets, and a whole universe of creative fun at crazy good value. Only at the Crazy Store. Holidaying near or far, there'll be one just about wherever you are.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. It's a Monday morning, the start of a brand new week. And here's to hoping that you had a great weekend as well. Ours was started on a fantastic note when the ever so cute Ivana Campbell was dancing her way into all of our hearts.
Yeah.
She's gone viral.
She's spicy,
not just
that
worldwide.
one, hey?
She's absolutely spicy, but all the right
Full of
kind of
energy.
spice.
We love
full of
her.
energy.
She's spice.
This was us, just like being blown away by what she does. It was absolutely incredible, and we
Yeah.
hope you're doing well, Ivana. Good luck with your dancing career. I'm sure it's going to be a bright
in
one.
there.
I'm so sad I missed it.
But she has seemingly encouraged a lot of people out there to also get their dance on.
To bust a move.
Yeah, absolutely. And in fact, we're going to be taking a look at some of the videos that you've sent us. One of KJ Kali, who shared this sweet video of her daughter, and she said that this is what they get up to during their mom and daughter quality time.
Nice.
They say that mom and daughter dance parties are the best and their favorite form of exercise. Take a look at this.
Cute.
So it's mama and daughter. Here we go. Let's do the things. Yes. Oh! I did not see that coming.
Alrighty.
I didn't see that coming.
Wow.
Really
Oh,
cool.
I love it. Okay, so how about this one from Audrey Kutsia? Now, Audrey Kutsia sent us this and says, you know what, because when you're in Spain, and I can attest to this, you've got to do a little bit of dancing. So
Okay.
what she did was she shared this gorgeous video of her granddaughter in Callejon de Spain busting a move.
Hey,
Do it.
Hey.
Oh. Isn't that more Mexican though?
That's
more Mexican. eh?
yeah. We don't want to confuse them.
Vamos. That is so cool.
Wow.
Very
And
nice.
I love how they're dressed in like authentic Spanish,
Yeah.
like regalia, and just
Loving
living
it.
their best lives. That's
Loving
beautiful.
the energy. Well, everybody's definitely been inspired to dance. Tracy Benting shared a video with us of her son, Logan, and he's got some moves. Check this out.
Okay.
I went Cena. Cena.
Yeah.
Coco. Cena. Coco.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
Hey.
Wow.
Listen.
Hey.
I'm so fascinated. Hey.
There is no stopping
Coco
Logan.
Cena.
Is that the new thing? Coco Cena.
How does it make me feel that way?
man.
Also, Pam Governor's 4-year-old grandniece from Durban loves dancing, and she sent us this video. Check that out.
Coco Cena. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Wind it.
Yes.
Hey.
Okay. Yes. I know. We are doing the things, eh? We are doing the things here. I love it.
That is
You
awesome.
need to take a seat after
They
that.
say,
It's like-
to take a seat.
that's the way they go, like, watch till the end. Wait for it.
Okay, we've got one last
man.
one. Are you guys
Yeah,
ready?
we're
All
ready.
right, so Nadia Benz shared this video of her daughter, and she said she loves dancing like her mama. When you feel the beat, you just got to move your feet.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hello.
Yes.
Yes, girl.
When I could have read it.
Come on.
Yes. Break it down. I dun dun dun
Oh,
dun.
hey.
Dun dun dun.
Yeah.
Dun dun dun.
Pump up the jam. I love it.
Love it.
I love
Oh
it.
man, that is just absolutely fantastic. Listen, we love receiving these kind of videos from you. Please do share them with us. We'd like to catch up with you on social media. Facebook, use that official hashtag is Expresso Show. Whatever it is that your kids get up to or you get up to, we love to see it.
Just want to say, I hope everyone saw how I took a sip of that coffee with no sound at all.
We all missed it, honestly and truly.
So it's a Monday. Let's get motivated. After a very dedicated career as a nursing sister, you might think a married mother of 2 daughters would just cherish some time off finally to relax with her husband and children, and of course the reward of a pension to sustain her. But instead, we're about to meet a woman who sees her whole community as her family in need, and who's chose rather to invest her skills, her money, her time, and her future in that extended family.
For some people, their 9 to 5 is more than just a job to get them by, but a calling that sees them going beyond their title. That is certainly the case with our Mandela Monday hero today, Olivia Farrow, a professional nurse with over 2 decades experience who left her previous job to start her own clinic. All of this to better service the community of Atlantis who are in dire need of the service because of huge unemployment. More than 2 decades later, you decided to start your own clinic. What motivated you to do this?
My motivation was the community wasn't getting the service that they deserve to get, and there was an outpour of complaints. So I've decided to start my own clinic. So here we are.
Sister Farrow, what drew you to nursing as a career?
Nursing was never my first choice. I wanted to be a social worker. This was part of my mother's dream because she was a nurse. So she asked me to apply. At the time, there was 4 nursing colleges. I applied just to 1, and I was accepted. So that being said, I think I didn't choose nursing. Nursing chose me.
I believe that you used your own pension money to start this.
I've used my own pension money because I wanted to help the community. I didn't want to wait on any investor to chip in with money. So my pension money was available to me, and I wanted to help this community with it.
A lot of the community members here struggle with transport getting to the hospital. Do you provide some home visits?
We do dial a nurse based on past experiences where I saw people struggling to get their people to the hospital. So we've got this dial a nurse service between 8 and 6 from Monday to Friday. And dial a nurse service is pertaining to bedridden people.
What services do you provide to the community?
Our service is comprehensive. It's consultations, it's child health, it's women's health, it's occupational health and safety, it's mental health, it's health education. Health education is the backbone of primary health care. So we don't want people just to take pills. We need to educate people how to live better. Then we're doing wound care, we're doing our dial a nurse services, family planning, HIV and TB, and immunization.
I must say they're very professional and they're very good in the work that they do here for people in the community. And I think this was a very good thing that they opened this clinic here in this building near to other people. I think it's privilegeable for our people as a community because everybody doesn't have medical aid or can't afford expensive doctors' surgeries. So this makes it more convenient for our community.
Ik ga vandaag voor het treatment en omdat het verniet is geraad, is het een groot hulp voor mij. En ik werk voor EPW en ons het 'n 4 maande kontrak gekry. So geld is 'n bietjie van 'n probleem en ons waardeer dit wat Suster Farrow vir ons doen hier in ons gemeenskap en die koste van per dag. En daarom maak sy dit vir ons bekostigbaar en ons is so bly vir haar wat die deure hier oopgemaak het, die kliniek.
What are some of your future plans for the clinic?
My future plan for the clinic is definitely to attach other services to it, like for example a vrouwcare. There's no vrouwcare center in Atlantis, and it's a thing that we desperately needed. Within 3 years, hopefully, we will be there.
With her team of qualified nurses, administrative clerks, an assistant clerk and cleaner, Sister Farrow and her clinic are lighting the way for other communities to follow, and they can use your support.
I love them, and there's so many of them, and I'm so happy that we get to celebrate them on our Feel Good Breakfast Show, because these are the unsung heroes of our communities, and this is one opportunity where we get to celebrate them, so that is amazing.
Yeah, Sister Farrow does such incredible work for her community there, and if you know any community builders like that who really do make an impact in their communities, we want to hear all about them.
Exactly. Talking about making an impact, our studio is constantly being, upgraded and changed. And every time you come here on a Monday, there are different nuances. Have you, Expresso family, realized what's different in our studio? Huh? Have you noticed?
The wallpaper, look at that.
I love
beautiful,
this.
right?
It is absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
And this in particular is Moy wallpaper, and it's called Extinct Animals from Art, and it's absolutely beautiful. You know what I love is this could be a talking point in anyone's home.
Yes.
You walk up there and there's just so many
Conversation
different, this is the design is fantastic. So we want to thank Home Fabrics for making sure that we look absolutely stunning
Yeah.
on our Feel Good Breakfast show. I love this. I want to go and take a closer look just now.
Yeah, it's so
just
nice.
to
So
check it out. It's
fancy.
gorgeous.
Everyone can have like a little segment, have it be like your new wallpaper on your phone.
I know. I would love to meet.
Do that.
Imagine you're at a party and you meet a hot guy and you have nothing to talk about, and you're like, "Oh, just look at
Look
this.
at the zebra.
Extinct animals from
Wearing Burberry.
Wow. I love this. I foresee a wedding on the way, y'all. I
man.
foresee a wedding on the way.
Well, if you're looking to have a wedding come your way, this is the wallpaper to get. Thank you so
you
much,
again,
Home
Home
Fabrics.
Fabrics.
Beautiful.
Only you can make my day.
Bon boy.
Bon boy!
Discover the new language of travel. Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences, rewards reimagined.
Okay, can we get the guys for the first performance in the back, please? We can just do like a bit of a sound check. Oh, okay. Okay, guys, sorry, we're just shooting this way. Can we just wait there for now? Okay, let's wait there.
Morning, everybody. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Greg, did you get piano? No, piano is 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 1 and 3.
Wow. Sorry, he's 28. Is Brian 26? Also,
oh, there we go.
So let's start at the beginning so that we can begin in the world.
Cool. Okay, we'll be ready in the next other time.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
It's a Monday morning. We welcome you back to your Feel Good Breakfast show. Thanks for joining us at the start of a brand new week. Of course, that music means that it's time to delve into the world of technology with the latest news. And of course, I think many of us that travel by car or by any form of transport, by the way, uses Google Maps to see our travel times and any traffic that might be ahead. But now the app is capable of letting you know just how crowded your commute might be on public transport. And our friend in tech, Brian Smith, joins us this morning to explore how this is even possible. On a very special day, he does so because it's his birthday! Happy birthday, Brian Smith! Yes, we ordered a whole dancing parade and party for you. Thank you very much. Thank you, thank you. That's amazing.
I feel like we should just have Thabiso do that the whole day.
Thank you very much. He's like that crowd of waiters at your favorite restaurant when it's your birthday. You like say birthday, and then they just start singing. Happy birthday, dude.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for sharing your time with us on this special day. But let's get into this topic. So Google Maps can now tell you that, hey, your commute or your bus trip is going to be quite crowded. How are they able to do this? How does this feature work?
So this is actually a really interesting feature. And up until now, as you said, South Africans might use Google Maps to essentially time their commute when they're traveling in their own car to work out the distance that they'll need to travel by traffic and essentially what that delay might be.
Yeah.
So Google's actually now expanded some of the features that people have previously used. So one of the ways that they work out how, for example, how busy your commute is going to be is that they will obviously survey you to essentially get some information as to how long your commute took or how crowded a particular train carriage was or a bus was. However, they can build analytical models from that. But of course, there is another layer of data, so to speak. Yeah. So if you have an Android smartphone, for example, and you've enabled your location history, they can actually track how many Android smartphones are taking a particular journey, what their proximity, so their closeness together is, and then work out through an analytical model exactly how crowded or what the congestion on a particular route might be.
Oh, my word.
Oh, wow. My question is, how safe is your data? How secure is all of this? I mean, if they're able to track all of the Android users in a particular area, I mean, isn't that a bit of a security breach?
So I think definitely when people hear about particularly their location history being tracked, it definitely raises an eyebrow. However, the thing to consider is that from the get-go, when you install an Android phone, you're actually given pretty granular controls over what permissions you allow. So it's always up to you if you choose to share your location history or not with Google. However, if you do, you sort of get the benefit of increased predictions and more accurate predictions, that being said. However, of course, you can always turn that setting off, and that said, that information that's shared with Google is always anonymized, so it's not necessarily particular to your person. It's taken your personal details off and removed from it, and they can build a sort of independent model as a result of that.
Why would Google be interested in introducing a feature like this? Or what purpose does it serve for them?
So Google's sort of mandate as a company has always been to index the world's knowledge. And with Google Maps, they're sort of moving away from a simple mapping service. They now have, for example, Street View and high-definition photography available in most regions of the world. And now they're moving towards Google Maps as a service, wherein you can actually track your commute and get a whole bunch of variety and interesting data from the get-go in the app, instead of just being able to track a particular destination.
Yeah. When will all of this be rolled out?
So that's an interesting question. They're actually rolling it out right now. So 200 cities, they haven't announced particularly which ones yet, although we expect that at least Cape Town and Gauteng will feature on the list. This feature is going to be rolled out over the coming months and towards the end of the year, and we expect that Google will continue to update new cities as more information becomes available.
Interesting.
Fascinating
times
stuff.
that we're living in.
Check those permissions when you're activating your app. I'm just saying that's the only way of protecting yourself. But Brian Smith, thank you very much. Happy birthday to you. In the meantime, you can link up with us and let us know which stories have caught your interest in the world of technology, and check out our website, expressoshow.com, under the technology tab.
Happy birthday!
Thank you very much.
Yeah, happy birthday, Brian. Well, maybe you haven't had time to check all of your sporting apps as yet. Very busy sporting weekend indeed in the world of sports, from Super Rugby, the semi-finals, some thrillers there as well. The Africa Cup of Nations, Bafana get their first win. To look at the highs and lows of every match on the grass thus far, we also going to preview what's coming up this week at the start of the most prestigious and oldest tennis tournament in the world, Wimbledon. Who are the favourites? To share his views and expert opinion on all the weekend sporting action and results, it is sports anchor Nick Archibald. Dude, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
Buddy, I've loved our chat already. I've kind of been divulging a huge amount. Really interesting weekend. Let's start with our Super Rugby semi-finals with probably the more surprising result of the two, 39-7 to the Jaguares. That is crazy to me that this team, I mean, they were the whipping boys 3 seasons ago. The Brumbies seemed like one of the strongest outfits, certainly the strongest Australian team. Or they not seemed like they were. But is it that difficult to go and play on the Jaguars' home turf?
Well, clearly. I mean, if you look throughout Super Rugby, the Buenos Aires has always been somewhat of a fortress.
Yeah, and it's
for the
30,000. It's not like
Jaguars.
the biggest stadium, but they pack a punch, man.
No, 100%. I think in terms of structure, really, they play much like the Argentinian national side. Fast, quick, expansive rugby, hard up front. But the Brumbies just weren't there, really.
Would the real Brumbies please stand up? You say like they play like the Argentinian national team because they pretty much are the Argentinian.
Well, I'm not going to say too much on that one. But
no, but they've used what Super Rugby is all about to such great effect in a World Cup build-up. If you think about the 4-year cycle building towards this World Cup, how strong is Argentina going to be as a result of how well this team is playing and how they've cracked that code, as opposed to Japan, how they've missed the opportunity, even hosting a World Cup, to see the Sunwolves progress in a way that kind of had any gravitas.
No, 100%. I think the Argentinian side, you have your De La Fuentes, you have your Emilio Boffelli, you have the high-class players that are really going to run expansive rugby in this year's World Cup. So they have a base, they have
Big
the
boys,
players, they
yeah.
have massive boys up front, quick boys out wide. So
yeah, so congratulations to the Jaguares. They are in their first Super Rugby final, which is incredible.
Who
And
would
of
have
course,
thought, really?
They'll face only just, the most successful team in all of Super Rugby and in the world, who just snuck through, it must be said, in what could have been a final. The Crusaders up against the Hurricanes, 30-26, very much two halves. And I know we say it's often a game of two halves, but this really was all Crusaders, but the Canes managed to weather that storm, and it was all the Canes in the second half. It was such an amazing trial for the All Black team.
No, exactly. I think Steve Hansen is sitting back going, well, he has another World Cup on the way, to be honest with you. I think most importantly, it's Beauden Barrett versus Richie Mo'unga, and I think that you wanted to be in the final.
Who's your man? Who would you go through? I mean, Richie Mo'unga, for me, has grown in leaps and bounds. You know what you're going to get with Beauden. But for me, Richie has just got dimensions, you know?
Oh, he's so wonderful. He just grabs the ball, and something's always happening when he does have the ball. But I think what strengthens Beauden Barrett's case, the fact that TJ Perenara is in unbelievable form at the moment for the Hurricanes.
The ball dropper, you mean?
The ball
knocker-honorer.
Careful. But he really is. I mean, that try that Ben Lamb scored in the corner, straight off the mark in the second half. He has the awareness. The ball dribbles out of the ruck.
He's a terrier
he
as
finds
well.
it.
Yeah.
He throws a little chicken wing, and Ben Lamb is in the corner.
And I mean, we're going to get into the cricket in just a moment. I've just got to ask you one very important question. Can Bafana, and you're giving me one word answer, can Bafana beat Morocco after having beaten Namibia?
Sure, you're putting me on the spot, Jack. I'm not sure. If I'm honest with you, I think our defensive voice showed against Namibia.
Yeah.
We did score. We scored a fantastic goal. Bongani Zungu really found himself in great space. Percy Tau, obviously, being Percy Tau. But, yeah, a couple defensive woes. We had that little spill and nearly a goal. On a different day, it would have been 2-1, maybe 1-1.
Yep, well, we're going to delve a little deeper into more of the weekend sports. Chiro's here to talk Formula One, and of course, we are going to delve into the Proteas' meaningless performance against Sri Lanka. Excuse my acetone, but that's what went down this weekend in sport.
First song. Cool, we've got 2 minutes. Cool. Guys, don't worry about space now. Let's just do a sound check and then we can sort that space afterwards. Cool, here you go.
Io vedo un mondo giusto d'anime che sono sempre libere, come le nuvole che volano pien d'umanità in fondo nella fantasia io vedo un mondo chiaro e anche la notte meno scura. Io sogno d'anime che sono sempre libere, come le nuvole che volano pien d'umanità.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3. Now, children across the land are bringing toys to Cadbury Dairy Milk pop-up little generosity shops for kids who don't have any. And we continue to bring you this nation-building and bonding campaign right here on Expresso.
It gets very personal. Just put yourself in their shoes. So we're asking you to bring your old toys to any of Cadbury Dairy Milk's pop-up little generosity shops. Look, a little something like this. And the beautiful thing is, in exchange for your pre-loved toy, you get a beautiful slab of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolates of your choice, just to say thank you.
There's a glass and a half in every one.
Generous people are able to receive in such a way that the giver gains in this interchange. How do they do this? Well, it's because their actions are motivated by the needs of others and not of themselves. And Cadbury Dairy Milk is stepping into this spirit of generosity by giving us all the opportunity to spread generosity to the millions of orphans across the country who might otherwise not have something as simple as a toy. And you can get involved. Juliet, we were lost in Sandton City in Joburg, and now we're here in Durban. How's the response been around the campaign?
The response has been phenomenal. The store's only been open for about a month. It opened at Sandton City Mall on the 29th of May, and we're already on over 32,000 toys. And so we're very excited about the response. And most of the consumers who come in say how much they enjoy the campaign and how much they love to get a Cadbury Dairy Milk when they leave.
How easy is it to donate?
So I think it's pretty easy. You just got to go back into your house, dig into your cupboard and find those toys that really give you a memory of your childhood and happiness so that you can pass it on to another child who may not be as fortunate as you.
I love your work today. You've brought all your toys out, but why do you think it's so important for South Africans to spread generosity?
I have a mother of two kids, a 20-year-old and a 9-year-old. Whenever I bring toys, like I buy Tando some toys, you should see his face. It lights up, and I also believe that every child deserves that.
Why was it so important for you to be a part of this life-changing campaign?
I come from a huge family, and I'm the last born of the family. We're 14, and I'm the last born, so you can only imagine. Like when I arrived on Earth, I think Umama was a cartel. So I didn't have... So I can't say I was unfortunate, but because we're too many at home, so I think by the time I arrived, we say, look, I'm toys. I never really remembered. I had only one doll, and her name was Julia. I don't know who gave me that doll, but it was so precious to me. So I know the feeling. I know every child deserves to be loved. Every child deserves to have a family, to have both parents, if not one.
You've got quite a few toys here today.
What do you call this?
Here.
What do you call this?
With the motorized vehicle, and I saw it moves as well.
Mm-hmm, it does. And Miss Crocky.
Miss Crocky over there, yeah.
And we have water gun.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It worries me nowadays that our kids don't really play outside with toys. They're always busy on gadgets, if not playing TV games. It is very important for a child to play. Just give yourself time. Be a child. And, as a child, the children are always happy. Yeah. They've got those happy faces. When they see, number one, children, they don't hold grudges, that we know. If today I decide, so siyantanda bantwana bethu, be a child, don't rush, udlale ngama-toys akho, go to school, respect bantu badala, and I promise you your future is over bright ngendlela esimanga.
Let's go give these toys away. I think it's very important to teach the young people of today the importance and the power of generosity. Generosity can be very underrated in society, but it's such an important thing. We all coexist, and sometimes we need to push each other a little bit further to make life a little bit easier for everyone. The message that I want to give to the child that will be receiving the toy that I've donated is that it's not always going to be easy, but there is always light at the end of the tunnel. It's always about finding positivity and letting that drive you. There are so many ways in which us as South Africans can be more generous to each other, to one another. So on the live show, Donate Toys has been absolutely inspiring. We see that every single one of us wants to do something to help the next person, and being able to have that platform to do it has been incredible, and everybody really involved in this life-changing project.
On top of the little generosity shop, there's also a mobile generosity shop that goes to the smaller regions. So it was in Bloemfontein, it was in Port Elizabeth. This weekend it's going to Pretoria from the 28th to the 30th of June. And then it's going to Nelspruit from the 12th to the 14th of July.
Can you tell us about some of the beneficiaries who are going to be benefiting from this campaign?
We selected the beneficiaries in each region that we're in. There is a few in Port Elizabeth, there's a few in Johannesburg, there's a few in KZN, Western Cape. And for a full list of all the beneficiaries, consumers can go log on to the Cadbury Dairy Milk website, where it's cadburyglassandhalf.co.za.
Amanda, why do you think it's so important to teach our young people here in South Africa to be a little bit more generous?
It creates a good demeanor in a little, human being. So I think it's a very good initiative that Cadbury is, pushing forward. My message of hope would be, I hope the toys bring joy into their lives as much as they've touched the lives of the kids that are donating the toys. Toys are a good escape for kids sometimes. They give you hope.
We've already conquered Johannesburg, and now the little generosity shop is in Durban and Cape Town. Make sure you head out there and spread the generosity. Of course, keep up to date on social media. Facebook is Cadbury Dairy Milk SA and Twitter at Cadbury_SA to find out how and where you can donate your pre-loved toys with the hashtag Little Generosity Shop and hashtag Glass&a-Half.
Thanks, Tabs. Beautiful stuff. You can go inspire more goodness in the world. Join children offering their toys to those who don't have at the Cadbury Little Generosity Shop at Gateway Mall Theatre of Shopping. That's up until the 8th of July. Cadbury Dairy Milk, the Little Generosity Shop, currently in Durban at the Gateway Theatre of Shopping as we speak.
Exactly. And we'll also be in Cape Town at Canal Walk Shopping Centre up until the 19th of July. So why don't you join in spreading the generosity? And you could donate a toy, or you could even visit www.cadburyglassandhalf.co.za for more information. You can also follow them on Facebook at Cadbury Dairy Milk SA or Cadbury_SA on Twitter and Instagram using the hashtags Glass&a-Half or hashtag The Little Generosity Shop.
And you can keep us up to date on where you are, how are you donating, what your toys mean to you. Pre-loved toys indeed, but they're going to go to a brand new home where they are really, really needed. So thank you so much to everyone who's made those donations already. You can ponder that as we take a quick break.
There's a glass&a-half in everyone.
Big or small, we've got it all. Everyone will find something at the Crazy Store. It's no wonder South Africa considers the Crazy Store the crazy fun place to shop.
Esiste nel vento caldo che soffia sulle città come amico. Io sono d'anime che sono sempre libere come le nuvole che volano pier
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Happy birthday, a very happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Expresso family. Happy birthday to
Opera in the house.
Can the bass section
They
please
ju-
put their hands up? Because that was rumbling
That was
across the floor. Yeah, I
incredible.
felt that vibration in my feet. That was beautiful.
They just wish you a happy
way
birthday.
to get into it. I absolutely love it. That's beautiful. Well, it's that time of the morning where we get to celebrate your birthdays, and really, what a way to get into it. And of course, if you want to celebrate your birthday, you want to know that you can send your WhatsApps to 0716406551. And right now, we're going to get straight into it, right?
Let's
Yeah,
do
man,
so.
let's do it, man. With Mo, I would love to wish my handsome, awesome husband, Mo, a very happy birthday. Without him, I would be nothing. I love him more than life itself. Have a great day, my love. Lots of hugs and kisses. I'm assuming, obviously, from your wife, Mo. You are loved, my brother. Thank you for being such a great guy. Then, happiest of birthdays to Cruz Caruls. We pray that God may bless you in the years that lie ahead. May your cup be filled with gladness and your tears be tears of joy only. Keep on being the little happy, chappy boy that you are and being my little sunshine. That's from Mama Lindsay.
Ja, en dan Trudy van Niekerk sê ons wil jou net geluk wens met jou 19de verjaarsdag. Mag die Here jou seën en nog vele jare spaar. Jy moet jou dag geniet en dit kom van jou auntie Sheila, ma, pa en broers. So happy birthday.
Happy birthday. I wish we gave that one to Graham to read out that beautiful message.
Know what I did? You see that
for
side step?
Trudy.
Is that what you did? Then, happy 22nd birthday to Wagan. There we go. And your family loves you lots, like Jerry Tots. This is from Fadwa and family.
Happy birthday, Waka. Here's another one. Aviwe is turning 25 this year, guys. Happy birthday, Aviwe. Have the most amazing day and an even better year. This is from your loved ones. And then we've got a special message for Usipile from his mum that reads, I would like to wish my son a happy birthday and may God see you through and carry you until such time your purpose is made manifest. Happy birthday, my dimples.
Amen.
Mommy loves you. This is for
That had a little bit of everything. It was deep, there was love.
Yeah, it's cute
awesome,
at the same
man.
time. Happy birthday,
Absolutely love
Usipile.
it. Next up, we want to say happy birthday to a little cutie cutie called Tsapiso. Have a wonderful birthday, and thank you for all the warm smiles, lots of love from your family and friends. That's cuteness overload. And then happy birthday to Cleo Davids, your ma, pa, cousin and niece loves
so
you
cute, man.
so much. You must have a splendid birthday. God bless you. We've got some cutie pies watching the show, man.
Absolutely. Tamsin Moodley is also turning 11 years old today, and your family are wishing you everything of the best. You are the light in life of our family. We love you a lot. This is from your mum and dad and auntie as well. Also, happy birthday to the best dad, Leon Reed, in the world. You are simply the best, and I'm so blessed to have a dad like you. That is absolutely nice.
Special.
Wow.
Okay, so here's our final one. Happy birthday, Sue Allen. May you have a wonderful day, my sweets, and enjoy everything that's coming your way, and stay as sweet as you are. This is love from your Titi and Lemia, your cousin.
Excellent stuff.
Happy
Thank you for those
birthday.
beautiful
Yeah,
birthday
man.
wishes
Nice
you've sent
fancy.
through. And thank you so much to the Cape Town Opera for starting that birthday segment on
What a way
such
to
a
do it.
beautiful note. Do remember that you can send your birthday wishes to birthdays@cordova.co.za, .tv rather. Birthdays@cordova.tv, and the number to SMS to is 071-640-6551. WhatsApp us those videos and those messages and pictures. We would
24
love
hours.
to
Give us 24
hours.
Please don't send them
we
on the
can-
morning because you're going to be heartbroken, man.
Yeah,
Please.
absolutely. Well, on that note, guys, let's take a look at the news headlines.
In your national news this morning, the House says that it is preparing for a battle with the Public Service Administration Department over the latter's plans to cut jobs as it clamps down on the unaffordable public wage bill. The House against a proposal to cut 30,000 jobs while streamlining existing posts. Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane says the time has come for young people to start their own businesses. Mabuyane says young people must come up with business ideas and set aside 150 million rand to assist young entrepreneurs. On the international front, Google this weekend introduced its new private subsea cable known as Equano. Now, it will start in Western Europe and run along the west coast of Africa between Portugal and South Africa, with branching units along the way. Donald Trump has become the first sitting U.S. president to set foot in North Korea after meeting that country's leader Kim Jong-un in a demilitarized zone dividing the two Koreas. And then finally, 8 dedicated youngsters completed a 13-day walk from Durban to Cape Town on Friday to raise awareness and funds for people with intellectual disabilities. They are members of the MPO, Enabling Disability Education Nationally in Pretoria, and walked a total of 1,643 kilometers. The group hopes to raise 600,000 rand to enroll 100 pupils with disabilities from their hometown Pretoria in a skills development program. Despite the 108,000 rand contributed to the national lottery, the group's crowdfunding has not raised much due to the technical difficulties. However, the 8 are adamant to obtain the funds needed. Last year, the group walked 600 kilometers from Pretoria to Durban and raised 170,000 rand for the Transrania School for the Deaf and the Fanang Diatla Center for the Disabled. What an incredible...
Just touching on some of those major sporting headlines in the Cricket World Cup, England ended India's unbeaten run at the ICC Cricket World Cup yesterday after beating them by 31 runs in Birmingham last night to reignite their World Cup campaign. On the footballing front, South Africa's Percy Tau and goal scorer against Namibia, Bongani Zungu, both hopeful that their team can stick to the game plan and play to their full potential in their very tough ask Africa Cup of Nations clash against Morocco this evening. In athletics, South Africa's athlete Caster Semenya won her favourite event, the 800-metre race at the Prefontaine Classic in Stanford, California, of course, part of the Diamond League series, and that happened late last night. And in motorsport, with only 2 laps remaining at the Austrian Grand Prix, Red Bull's Max Verstappen passed Ferrari's Charles Leclerc to clinch the win in a thrilling race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. We'll delve a little deeper into those highlights as the show progresses, but of course, throwing forward to today's Cricket World Cup action, Sri Lanka up against the West Indies, and that happens at the Riverside Ground from 11:30 this morning, South African time.
Thank you, Graham. Let's take a first look at your roads this morning. Starting off in Gauteng, out in Benoni, there is a stationary vehicle on the N12 westbound after Tom Jones Street. The left lane is obstructed, so please do approach that area with caution. And off to the Western Cape and Observatory on the N2 inbound, there is a stationary vehicle that's after Liesberg Parkway obstructing the emergency lane. Please do keep a look out for this and maintain a safe following distance due to the rain this morning. And off to the train lines, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes that's on the Simonstown line. This is due to defective track circuits at Salt River and faulty level crossing booms out at Kenilworth and Falls Bay. That's where we leave it for now. Here is Graham with a look at your weather.
Don't fear the flu. Boost your immune system with Effaflu C Immune Booster by Pharmadynamics. Effective, affordable healthcare.
But it looks like it's a beautiful start across the land. We've been asking you to send in your sunrise pictures, and we've had some absolutely magical entrants. And Tokozo Makatini sent us this amazing skyline from Johannesburg, where sunny conditions can be expected for the day, with a light westerly wind and chilly temperatures kicking in towards the evening, reaching a maximum of just 18 degrees today. Moving across the rest of the land, Polokwane, your low is 6, going up to 23 degrees. Your highest temperature in the country, Mbombela, is 30 degrees. At its maximum, 10 is where you kickstart your day. Pretoria ranging between 3 and 21 degrees. Johannesburg 8 and 18, as I said earlier. Cold start to the morning in Mahikeng. 1 degrees is where you kickstart your day. 17 your high. Klerksdorp ranging between -1 and 16. Kimberley 0 is your minimum, going up to a max of just 12 with rain expected there as well. Lowest temperature in the country, yet again, it's Bloem -4 degrees. Sorry guys, that's where you start. 11 degrees is your rather paltry maximum. Richards Bay ranging between 13 and 31 degrees. Pietermaritzburg 4 degrees your low, going up to 27 degrees with thunder showers expected as well. Durban, where most of the country is on holiday at the moment, 13 degrees your low, 27 degrees your high with a little bit of rain expected. Umtata ranging between 5 and 21 degrees. East London 11 and 21. In Craddock your low is 0, going up to just 14 degrees. Then we're looking for, or expecting at least heavy rainfall in Port Elizabeth, where your minimum is 8, going up to 18 degrees. It's a northwesterly wind today of around 32 kilometers an hour, so please be aware of that. In George, your low 8, going up to 15 degrees, with a bit of rain expected there as well, and a westerly wind of around 28 kilometers an hour. Sutherland, your low is 0, with a bit of rain expected there as well, and down in the mother city, 12 degrees is your minimum, going up to just 16 degrees, with some occasional showers expected. Moving a little further inland, Worcester, your low 6, going up to 13 degrees. Very high humidity with the rain in the area as well. And Springbok, your low 1 degrees, going up to just 11. Uppington, 2 degrees, slightly warmer, but only going up to 14 degrees with some cloud cover expected there as well.
Sounds like a generally cold start to the morning across the country, but we're going to warm things up in the studio. We've got the Cape Town Opera joining us ahead of the big show coming up on the 20th of July. You might have heard them singing Happy Birthday to get us started on our birthday segment. We've got the gentlemen ready to really warm up this Monday morning, and chorus master Marvin Cornell also joining us here. He was correcting his eyebrows just a couple of seconds ago. Are they all in tune now?
Yeah, I was just looking for a comb.
Excellent. But listen, this is very exciting. You're going to have a fantastic 1-hour show.
Yes.
At the NG Moedergemeente in Kuilsriver. Tell me about the show and what people
the
can
show,
expect.
we've taken a few things from very big successful shows like Maria Stuarda, African Passion, African Angels, Grace Notes, and we've taken a few things, some highlights of those programs, put them together, decided to collaborate with a very good high school choir in Cape Town, the Kaelan High School Girls Choir, and just spend the afternoon and share what we have to give.
Absolutely fantastic. Well, we can't wait to hear it all. On the 20th, tickets are available, right?
CompuTicket, it's available. Bookings are open. Please get your tickets as soon as possible.
And right now, you're about to give us a taste tease of what we can expect with Nella Fantasia.
Absolutely.
Take it away.
Enjoy.
Giusto, li tutti vivono in pace e in onestà. Io sogno d'anime vedo un mondo chiaro neanche la notte meno scura. Io sogno d'anime che sono sempre libere, come le nuvole che volano pien la fantasia esiste un vento caldo che soffia sulle città come amico. Io sogno d'anime che sono sempre
Get an insurance quote and stand a chance to win one of 6 Samsung S10 smartphones. Simply SMS the keyword LIFE to 31492 for a callback and quote, and you could be a winner.
Monday morning, of course, welcoming you after what has been a very exciting weekend full of sports. And the Cricket World Cup, of course, one of the main features of this time of the year. Of course, Sri Lanka's hopes of reaching the World Cup semi-finals were dented when they were thrashed by the Proteas. And we say that proudly, but like, obviously after the fact that we've just lost everything. But we thrashed them by 9 wickets at Chester Street on Friday in a well-deserved victory for South Africa. But it was still too little too late for us as South Africans. Sadly, we won't be winning the World Cup. You cried more on Friday than any other day of the World Cup.
Well, you know, the Proteas, and I'm getting tired of saying that, one of the better sides. I know we came off a 5-0 series victory against Sri Lanka earlier this year.
Kagiso Rabada takes the opening wicket. That's the kind of Protea fire that I think we were all expecting to see from the very get-go of the World Cup, but we just never ignited. What do you think was the difference in this particular game that saw our lads performing the way they did?
Desperation. Utter desperation to show that South Africa can actually play cricket.
Yeah.
Because we can, and we have the players. We have the Faf du Plessis, the Hashim Amlas, the Chris Morrises, the Kagiso Rabadas. We have the players.
Yeah.
They needed to play on Friday.
Yeah. Without throwing in that horrible word that we all like to use at this time, what do you think it was? What was our demise? Is it just not a coming together of the team? A lack of desire to want to impress on a big stage like that? What do you think it was that was the ultimate demise? I mean, when you look at this, is a stark contrast to what we've been performing like.
Well, I know Jeremy Harris mentioned a couple of weeks back in terms of how we're not going to know until we do know.
Yeah.
You know, our batting department certainly was the case throughout the beginning and maybe in the build-up. And then our bowling department kind of fell away. We had a couple injuries here and there. I kind of just want the Proteas to get on a flight, come back and, you know, take a deep breath and then explain. Because I'm not sure, is it behind the scenes? I don't know. Is it batsmen? I don't know. Is it fielding?
What happens when they come back? Do we all stand at the airport and high-five and cuddle them and say, it's okay, boys, we know you tried?
I don't think that's going to be happening, if I'm honest with you.
Even some of these celebrations over there, the big smiles on the likes of JP Dumini's face, you understand the celebration of taking a wicket on a World Cup stage like that, but I would be just so destroyed as one of the team players to be winning at this late stage with such an impressive margin. But okay, all right, we're going to sit that to the side. That has now obviously dented Sri Lanka's hopes of now progressing to the next stage. Pakistan beating Afghanistan over the weekend by 3 wickets. What did you make of that game?
Well, it was certainly tight. Pakistan and Afghanistan played both fantastic matchups. And it's always a good game. I'm so impressed with Afghanistan. They've had such an amazing World Cup. They've pushed teams to the limit, and Saturday was no different.
Yeah.
I think Pakistan also now have that kind of wind behind their back. You know, they're going, you know, listen, we're in with a chance here. They're at 5th on the log, if I'm not mistaken. And this week is a big one. They play Sri Lanka on Friday. On Wednesday, we'll have the New Zealand-Australia game, which is a New Zealand-England game, excuse me, which is a massive game because whoever wins puts pressure on Pakistan. But if Pakistan win, whoever lost that game drops to 5th.
Yeah.
And then Pakistan go through.
You love those permutations when it comes to a World Cup, man. And of course, Australia beating New Zealand by 86 runs. That combination of David Warner and Aaron Finch as openers are looking deadly. When they click, oh man, they could set you up. I mean, of course, the rest of the batting lineup didn't really come to the party, but when they really are clicking and working well together, it can be a dangerous.
No, definitely. I think Australia are in with a big chance of winning the World Cup again. But I think what it shows, you know, they lost a couple quick wickets here and there. Usman Khawaja and Alex Carey came in and really kind of stabilised the innings when they needed it. It was, I think, 118 for 5. And they ended on a pretty decent score. I think it was 234. And then your bowlers come up. I mean, that's what you want. You want your batsmen to fire and you want your bowlers to fire. And Mitch Starc taking 5 wickets was great.
India were my go-to boys after the Proteas were knocked out, but England coming good again as the home team. So even there, the strongest performing team were consistently, in terms of India, aren't in with a definite chance. But what did you make of that game quickly?
Well, England certainly have to play well. It is their home World Cup. I don't want to take you back to 2015 with the home World Cup, with the Rugby World Cup. So I think they have to perform and certainly will.
Yeah, well, fantastic. Thanks very much for joining us, Nick, this morning. Of course, today's Cricket World Cup fixture sees Sri Lanka take on the West Indies. That game, local time at 11:30 a.m.
Well, it's time for us to shift the focus over now to some grooming, and we've been getting a whole lot of great shaving advice on our grooming journey with Bic. But here's the thing, a full and proper shaving ritual with all the prep and post-shave care can take a really long time and needs a lot of product, right? So what about those times where you really are on a business trip and you forgot to pack your post-shave moisturizers, or you're really out in the wilderness on a safari adventure and you really don't have the facilities for a proper shave? That's what we're talking about right now, because those times do happen. Those things do happen.
In our line of work, they really do happen all the time. And often I've got to kind of keep up continuity, and you might need to shave. I would suggest if you are out in the wild and you don't really need to shave, then just don't. Okay? don't take any chances. But the reality is you've got to shave on the fly sometimes, man.
I know that you're always traveling and you're always out and about in the wilderness every now and again, going camping with your mates. What's the important thing to remember when shaving on the run?
Well, let's keep it in an urban, wild environment. I think the bottom line is, and I've discovered this with our big Flex line of razors, disposable, but premium as well, which is amazing. You always have the product close by. You can go and buy yourself one of the razors that matches you. You don't have to go unshaven, and it's a big thing for us. Is you want to kind of keep up appearances. It's easy to find. It's a really, really good product, and of course the comfort line of shaving creams or gels equally available. So you don't have to skimp and always carry. I know a lot of like airplane. They've got kind of rules around restrictions, carrying razors and that sort of thing. But I'm finding now that you've got a premium range of disposable razors does actually help in crunch time, man.
But what happens when you're on the move and you're in a rush? How do we speed up the shaving routine or the shaving process?
I think the main thing is don't take any shortcuts, okay? It's your skin, it's your face, you know your skin. But often the repercussions of rushing this process can be a little bit devastating and leave you in a far worse place than when you started. So do take the time, care about your face. You know, whether you've got a designer bead and you just need to sharpen it up, people are going to judge you by the way that you look. So do not rush this process. Care about your skin, because you're going to need to keep your skin for life.
I mean, the one thing that everyone's speaking about when it comes to shaving is really just like making use of like warm water and taking a shower just before you shave, waking up your skin so that it's ready for that process, right?
But we've sat through master classes. We've had dermatologists in studio. The idea of having warm water to open up the pores, very important. You also want to wash your face beforehand so you don't have dead skin cells there that are going to interfere with the blades of the razor. And then cold water after a shave to close those pores down as well. Just look after it. It's natural, basic logic that needs to be applied there.
I can think of so many instances where you haven't got warm water, for example, when you're out camping in the wilderness, or if you go out to Opikopi, for example. What do you do in that instance?
But don't dry shave. As much as you might think that you can, we are not Rambo, and we can't just take out a knife and shave with our knife or our sword. Just be very wary of a dry shave, apart from the fact that your skin is obviously not getting the right kind of moisturization. What is going to happen is you are most likely going to get ingrown hairs. It opens the way for infections as well. You are taking a blade to your skin, so just bear that in mind. Rather err away from a dry shave. If absolutely necessary, use maybe hot water if you can, but make sure that the skin does stay hydrated. Keep using the water, but I would actually recommend just stay away from a dry shave altogether.
Well, let's say you're out, of course, in the wilderness, or you're an adventurer. As most
I know people are going to think that I live this high life of absolute adventure. Just if you don't have light, it's this is your face, okay, and you are taking a blade to your face. But there's nothing worse, and I discovered this after having gone from a full beard, shaving down, to have little stray hairs, things, imperfections. If you're doing presentations, if you're on camera, if you're presenting yourself, and that's a part of your image, take the time to do it. If you don't have lights, an interesting little trick, we use our torches on our phones a lot. Use your flash or your torch, put a bottle of water on it. It operates very much like a gun. You can see our little image there, but it creates enough soft light. It's a beautiful hack to be able to actually shave in that space. So if you get hit with power shortages in the area that you are, if you are out in the wild, take out your knife. No, don't take out your knife. But no, it's a cool way. But just use a little bit of logic and take the time to care about your skin, buddy.
I guess sometimes with load shedding and all of that happening, it can feel like our houses are the wilderness, and we have to make use of those hacks coming through.
But remember, you're going to still have to recharge your phone after you've used your torch. So just keep that in mind.
We'll be bringing some more hacks, I suppose, as time goes by. You really have become the go-to guy when it comes to grooming and shaving.
I've learned a lot, but can you see the stubble's already coming back? I just couldn't bear not to have have it, but I have learned so much through this journey. I think the most important thing is care about yourself. Honor yourself enough to take the time and the care to look after your skin and your beard.
Ah, fantastic. Well, clearly, where there is a will to shave, there's always going to be a right way to do it, regardless of your environment. There's no better way to master your look than with the Big Flex range of premium disposable razors. Big is running a fantastic competition now where you can stand a chance of winning one of 60 1,000 Rand Superbalist vouchers. Yes, that's right. All you have to do is purchase any Big Flex shaver, take a picture of your till slip and WhatsApp it to 082-255-3706. Terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com, and the competition will end on the 12th of August. That number again is 082-255-3706. Good luck.
Master your look with Big Flex.
Well, I hope you're enjoying your Monday morning thus far in our company. Leanne, are you enjoying your Monday morning in our company?
I am. I'm just making sure that the shine comes from within and not on my face. Do you know you got to shine from the inside out and not be here?
Oh, bless our makeup team for always keeping us on point.
Yeah.
All right, listen, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, there's so much more coming up. Another performance from Cape Town Opera. Of course, check out CompuTicket to get their tickets to that show on the 20th of July. And then also the journey to the discovery of where it is that we're going with hashtag TIOT9. I'm talking about Tropica Island of Treasure Season 9. Where are we going? We're going to be sharing some clues and seeing whether you can guess where our new tropical paradise destination will be. We'll take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Cadbury Dairy Milk shines a light on the generosity alive in each of us. Bring your old toys to any of the Cadbury Dairy Milk's pop-up little generosity shops in major centres this winter and receive a slab of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. Get to Durban's Gateway Mall Little Generosity Shop from the 25th of June until the 8th of July with your toys, and let's inspire a little more Cadbury Dairy Milk goodness in the world.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back. You're live with Expresso. Thank you so much for sharing your love. Continue to do that. Hashtag Expresso Show on all of our social media platforms. You can weigh in on the Formula One conversation, which got very spicy this weekend after calling it the Dallas Sport in the game. Of course, plenty of drama at the Austrian Grand Prix, and a very young, awesome winner as well. Chiro's in the house to chat about that in a mo.
Also still coming up, the Tropica Island of Treasure. A brand new season is coming your way. We've asked you to guess where in the Caribbean will be the home of this season's Tropica Island of Treasure. Those those clues will be revealed in a bit. Here is Leanne with the news right now, though.
Thank you so much, team. In the national news this morning, the House says that it is preparing for a battle with the Public Service Administration Department over the latter's plans to cut jobs as it clamps down on unaffordable public wage bill. Now, the House against a proposal to cut 30,000 jobs while streamlining existing posts. Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane says the time has come for young people to start their own businesses. Mabuyane says young people must come up with business ideas and set aside 150 million rand to assist young entrepreneurs. Now, moving further abroad, Google this weekend introduced its new private subsea cable. Now, it will start in Western Europe and run along the west coast of Africa between Portugal and South Africa, with branching units along the way. Donald Trump has become the first sitting US president to set foot in North Korea after meeting that country's leader Kim Jong-un in the demilitarized zone dividing the two Koreas. And then finally, it's that time of the year again. We get to watch a fortnight's world-class tennis at the most famous tennis tournament of all, the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club in London, better known as Wimbledon. Now, Wimbledon, which took place for the first time in 1877, is quite special if you're a tennis fan or a strawberry fan. The whopping 150,000 portions of strawberries and cream served during the tournament are almost as important as the tennis played. And then, of course, there's Wimbledon's very special employee known as Rufus, a Harris hawk that roams the skies above Wimbledon, deterring local pigeons. Rufus is pretty popular, rather, with over 5,000 followers on Twitter and a huge favorite at Wimbledon for the past 15 years. Well, that was your 7:30 news update. Let's get another look at what's happening in the world of sport.
I never knew that a hawk could tweet. So let's kick it off with the cream rising to the top at the Cricket World Cup. England ended India's unbeaten run at the ICC Cricket World Cup after beating them by 31 runs in Birmingham last night to reignite their World Cup campaign. In football, South Africa's Percy Tau and our goal scorer in our 1-1 win over Namibia, Bongani Zungu, they are both hopeful that the team will stick to the game plan and play to their full potential in their upcoming Africa Cup of Nations clash against the powerhouse that is Morocco, happening tonight. Then talk about powerhouse in athletics. South Africa's Caster Semenya won her favorite event at the 800-meter race, of course, at the Prefontaine Classic in Stanford in California as part of the Diamond League Series late last night. And in motorsport, with only 2 laps remaining at the Austrian Grand Prix, Red Bull's Max Verstappen passed Ferrari's Charles Leclerc to clinch the win in a very thrilling race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. And Chira and I will delve a little deeper into all of the drama in just a moment. And if you're interested in the Cricket World Cup, of course, it continues today. Sri Lanka, who get knocked out, of course, by England's progression yesterday. They face off against the West Indies, who are already out. That's happening at the Riverside Ground from 11:30 this morning, South African time.
Thank you so much, Graham. Let's take another look at your roads this morning. In KwaZulu-Natal, out in Prospecton, there has been an accident on the N2 northbound after Isipingo. Delays can be expected leaving Amanzimtoti. Please approach with caution. In the Western Cape, out in Khayelitsha on the N2 outbound, there has been an accident before the R300 turnoff. All lanes are open, but delays can still be expected, so please do keep a lookout for that and maintain a safe following distance with the rain this morning. And off to the train lines, all Fish Hook bound trains will turn around on platform 1 at Fish Hook until further notice. This is due to a defective train that is cancelled. Please allow for an extended travel time. Here is a look at your weather by Kate.
Yeah, Weather Watch and the half an hour spot. And we got to say a big thank you, first of all, for all the beautiful pictures you've been sending us. Firstly, to Fatah Khan, who sent us a sunrise from Hillcrest in KZN. Now, Fatah, today you can expect sunny and partly cloudy conditions with a shower or thunderstorm in spots. Temperatures reaching a maximum of 27 degrees. Thank you so much for those pictures, and do keep them coming. Let's take a look at those temperatures more specifically in Polokwane. Your low of 6 and a high of 23. Sunny conditions there. The highest temperatures in the country
country. In Mbombela, between 10 and 30 degrees Celsius, going to be a scorcher. In Pretoria, between 3 and 21. Johannesburg, your low of 0 and your high of 18. A cold start to the morning in Mahikeng in the Northwest Province, -1 to 17. In Klerksdorp, similarly, -1 to 16. Kimberley, your low of 0 and your high of 12. Now, the lowest temperatures in the country can be found in Bloemfontein once again, -4, reaching a maximum of 11, while Richards Bay can expect temperatures ranging between 13 and 31 degrees Celsius. Pietermaritzburg, thunder showers in certain times of the day, and temperatures ranging between 4 and 27 degrees Celsius. Durban between 13 and 27. Mthatha between 5 and 21. And East London, your low of 11 and your high of 21. In Cradock, you can expect partly cloudy conditions throughout the day, your low of 0 and your high of 14, while heavy rainfall is the order of the day in Port Elizabeth. Temperatures there ranging between 8 and 18 degrees Celsius. A northwesterly wind of 32 kilometers per hour through George, and your low of 8 and a high of 15. Westerly winds of 28 kilometers per hour in Sutherland, your low of 0 and your high of 6. Cape Town, the mother city, can see a minimum of 12 and a maximum of 16, while occasional showers can be expected in Worcester, and temperatures ranging between 6 and 13. High humidity in Springbok today will see temperatures going between 1 and 11 degrees, and Uppington between 2 and 14 degrees Celsius. Well, no matter what the weather is like in your part of the country, here's wishing you a magnificent Monday.
So I'm actually taking on board now the comments, the misguided comments that I made last week about Formula One being one of the most boring sports in the world, that it's kind of hit a bit of a plateau. The Austrian Grand Prix at the Red Bull Ring proved to be one of the most exciting events we have seen all year. Young Max Verstappen winning it for Red Bull ahead of Charles Leclerc, two young guns. The drama started way before in qualifying, an incredible race that certainly did throw a little spice and prove why Formula One is the pinnacle of motorsport and the pinnacle of youngsters. 200 youngsters, in fact, in South Africa, according to Mail and Guardian. Chiro joins us. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On the award.
Wow,
Certainly
thank you very much.
warranted. You can go to social media platforms to find out why he is so valued, but we value you, especially in moments like this, because we've been talking about Formula One being kind of a little bit boring because it's being dominated. But this weekend was unbelievably thrilling. To win it in the last 2 laps, if I'm correct.
Yep.
Where did the drama start, first of all? Why was Hamilton a few places down the grid, man?
Yeah, so it was a fantastic race weekend, actually. There was drama in qualifying, there was drama in the race. In the race, right, you're not going to believe this, drivers overtook each other. What? It was shocking.
No, you're a liar, man.
No, it really happened, I promise. I witnessed it with my own eyes. The drama in qualifying, Hamilton got demoted to 5th place for an infraction for keeping Kimi Raikkonen from finishing a hot lap. And Hamilton put his hands up and said, you know what, I deserve it. So that promoted everyone up the field. But Leclerc won his spot on merit. He did beat Hamilton on merit by 0.2 of a second. That kid, I'm a huge fan of that kid. He really does have a bright future in front of him. And he converted his pole position into a lead in the first corner, and he pretty much led the race until the second last lap. And this is where the controversial incident happened with Verstappen.
Well, talk me through that controversial, because who was really at fault there? I mean, it's an aggressive, they are racing ultimately, and no driver worth his salt is going to let someone pass him, not after you've led from the very beginning. But, I mean, kudos to the Red Bull team. When you think of the journey that they've been on, to be competing now, to have the strength of that team, awesome stuff. But what actually happened there?
So, talking about the Red Bull team just quickly, this is the first time a Honda engine has won a race since 2006. Yeah, so Honda's really stepped up their game after their disaster with Alonso a few years ago. That particular racing incident, which we've just seen on the screen, was ruled by the stewards as a racing incident. There was the risk that 3 hours after the race, the stewards' result would come out and Verstappen would be demoted like Vettel was in Canada. And that would have been a big scandal for the sport.
That's why everyone was like, remember Canada, remember Canada, remember Canada.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
So racing incident, it was ruled that neither driver was entirely to blame, and they left it to basically what happened on track. And I think that that's a really good way to go. You know, no one crashed out, no cars were damaged, no one was injured, obviously. It was very hard driving by Verstappen, and he said after the race, he said, look, if we don't drive hard, we might as well stay at home.
Yeah, but that's the whole point. It is a race after all, and they need to spice it up, and they certainly did it. Other youngsters doing brilliantly. Lando Norris, great weekend for McLaren as well.
Yeah, great drive. Lando Norris, he was really mixing it up in the front of the race almost the entire way.
McLaren.
Yeah,
McLaren. When last did we say McLaren,
I know.
dude?
It's so nice to sit here and not say the words Hamilton, Bottas, Vettel, and just actually mention another driver on the grid. Look, he still finished a lap behind the top 5, so he's best of the rest. And it does mean, it does mean that McLaren have a lot of work to do. But it was so great to see him mixing up with the front runners in the first few laps of the race, and he pretty much drove an entirely flawless drive to get that car over the line. And he, again, you know, 21 years old, he's got a bright future.
Yeah, man, the youngsters putting their hands up, which we absolutely love. So you've still got the Strangled at the top, Mercedes, these amazing drivers, but you've got these young guns coming through the ranks as well. It's exciting. Kudos to the Red Bull Ring for providing a track that gave us all this, to all the teams for being competitive, and Lewis Hamilton for giving us a no-filter selfie on his social media account, just to remain pertinent. Chiro, but congratulations once again. We are really proud of you, buddy, and proud of our association to you. You can let us know how you were a Formula One fan. If you weren't, you might want to become one. It's going to be an unbelievable, extra long season in Formula One. So now is the time to sink your teeth.
Well, Katlego was announced as the host of Tropica Island of Treasure last week. Can we make some noise? Yes! Our man, oh my goodness, going to be heating up the screens like he does so well. And this week, we will be revealing the Smooth Island location. How are you feeling, sir?
I'm very excited.
Hey?
I'm very, very excited for the new season.
It's going to be amazing.
Because I've been getting a lot of questions from people on social media, and when we meet on the general every day, like, when can we enter? How do we enter?
But we need to find out, of course, where the location is going to be. And each day we'll be giving you a clue as to where the island is.
Absolutely. So here we go. So today's clues are going to be trying to just... Go right ahead. Anyway, we're talking about where the island is situated. So any guesses thus far after what I gave you?
Okay,
where the island might be?
You said that we've never been to that location before.
Yes.
All right. And I know so far we've been to locations like Thailand, Mexico, there's been Jamaica, there's been Mauritius, there's been Seychelles, there's been the Maldives last season.
Clearly you've been watching.
Child, I love that show, man.
Exactly. So it is somewhere, I can tell you this, it's somewhere in America, Asia, or maybe somewhere closer to Africa. I just threw your map completely wide. Okay. Let me be more specific.
Please,
so the location is definitely not close to home. It's somewhere in the world where it is a total paradise, and most of us can only dream of a place like this. In fact, it takes. No, I can't tell you that. It takes a long time to fly there.
Oh, so you don't want to give us the hours?
Yeah.
Because you know I'm going to be like Google. Hi, Google.
Okay, so it takes a very long time to get there. And Tropica is going back to its brand roots of... Can I get a drum roll? The Caribbean Islands!
Oh my goodness!
Okay, so we're going to one of the Caribbean islands. Of course, the Caribbean region consists of more than 700 islands, and it's southeast of the Gulf of Mexico, if you want to get your compass out. It's north of American mainland, and east of Central America, and north of South America.
Oh my goodness.
Put that together. Does that help
Put
you?
that in your drink and sip it. Oh, wow.
So the Caribbean islands either have American, British, French, Dutch, or even African influences. So we'll be obviously feeling that throughout the show. And the islands are surrounded by beautiful turquoise waters, so you can expect beautiful imagery when we come back, when we go there and film the show. Then the landscape is diverse, from palm trees to desert-like vegetation, being so close to Mexico as well. So we're showing you some pictures over there that you can get yourself into the vibe. Now, the question is, can you name the island in the Caribbean that'll be home to Tropica Island of Treasure Season 9? Well, if you can, go to @MyTropica social pages, take a guess, and of course using hashtag TIO29, and it could be your time for some smooth fame and fortune. Entries will be opening in August, and all throughout the month of July, we'll be sharing details on how you can be part of the brand new season. It's going to be
I'm speechless.
so good.
I have no words. It's
Yeah?
going to be amazing.
Do you think you could guess where it is now?
I'm like, my mind is blown, but I think I can guess.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Ooh,
But I'm not gonna-
don't. Don't do
Okay,
it. All
I'm
right.
just gonna
We're going to
drink.
take a quick break. We'll be right back after this.
We just said it's in the Caribbean.
Okay.
No.
Yo, what's up, Smooth fans? We are here.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. It's Expresso right here on SABC3.
It is, right. So from growing up a small-town boy in the Eastern Cape, Temba Gwejela, Mr. Gwej, he made it big as the owner of a marketing agency, but really where his heart really lay was in the kitchen.
Oh, now when he picked up on the social media demand for dishes he made for himself, he saw a gap for Mr. Gwej's kitchen and his own welcoming style of home cooking.
Sasco, baking together since 1930.
Temba Gwejela swapped his corporate marketing gig to pursue his culinary passion. This after noticing a demand on social media of people wanting to taste his delicious food. And this has come up to a partnership with Sasco, where every single month he hosts a group of people together in an intimate setting called Mr. Gwej Sasco Lunch Sessions. We're here to find out what that's all about. Getting together and spending those Sunday lunches with family and friends is so important. People are so busy these days, we miss out on the important things that take place in our lives. And to be able to connect in that intimate space and really do it through food is the most beautiful thing. So, Mr. Gwej, what are some of your earliest food memories?
Well, when I think about food, I really think back to growing up in my mother's house. I come from a family of 8, so there was always a lot of food being made. And my mom was actually a stay-at-home mom, so she was always in the kitchen cooking. So when I think of food, I really think about the fact that I lived close to the school and I didn't even have to carry a lunchbox. I just cross over the street and go and eat something fresh that's been made at home.
So what sparked your passion for hosting and entertaining people through Mr. Gwej's kitchen?
Because I'm really passionate about food, I would share what I'm making on my Twitter, on my Instagram, and I would always get the odd response saying, well, when are we tasting this food? And I'd be like, never gonna happen. Eventually I gave in, I said, okay, fine, if you wanna taste it, maybe let me host a table of 8 every Sunday and you guys come and eat. And that's basically how it got started.
I came first to hear about Mr. Gwej's kitchen on his Twitter profile. He used to have the Sundays that he used to do where he just had dinner and post his lunch. Then after some time it became a thing and invited people. And I used to ask him, hey, when is my invite coming through?
You know, he used to host us for Sunday lunches where we just come and eat and he'd cook.
Experience, and how did that partnership come about?
So what's really great about Mr. Gwej, and this is something that we realized once we started following him on social media, is that he puts his heart and soul on a plate. So everything that he makes and prepares, he does with such love, such excellence and such care. At Sasco, we have exactly the same values. So with his values and ours corresponding, we thought it would just be a natural fit.
What do you think Sasco products make such a fantastic addition to these lunch events, but also everybody's lunches back at home?
So just like the mom who bakes for her family on a Sunday, or anyone who wants to bake for their family, that same care and expertise that goes into the lunches, that's the same kind of care and expertise we put into our products at Sasco.
Sasco for me is a name that I've always known from childhood. I remember their bread, their flour was always used in my household. So when I started doing this initiative, I reached out to the guys to say, look, can we work together because I really enjoy your products, and here we are.
I've brought my appetite, so what's on the menu today at Mr. Gwedge's kitchen?
So today we have some really interesting dishes. Our first course will be a chicken tacos, which has been made with Sasco white bread. And then our second course, which is the main, will be lamb shank. But the lamb shank has been cooked overnight, slowly cooked in red wine. It's really tender. It's not on the bone anymore. It's really about being able to take then the Sasco flour that I've used to make idombolo and really pair it with that very saucy dish. I think the food is finally here.
Well, my favorite today would have to be our starters. I thought initially it was the tacos, but it was literally just Sasco bread. Literally, it was bread, and then they rolled it down, and then he said he buttered it, and then put it on a pan, and then put his fillings inside. I thought it was literally a taco, so I really enjoyed that.
The best part of today's lunch was actually the main for me, because I enjoyed the lamb shank. It was amazing. I had been waiting for it the whole day. I literally didn't eat today. I was like, I'm gonna wait for that lamb shank, and it lived up to the expectations. It was amazing.
Mr. Gwedge has gone all out with his meals today. The malva pudding, though, was so good. It stood out. I mean, it melts in your mouth. It's fluffy. It's so nice. I wanted to have seconds, and I did.
I love how Mr. Gwedge's Sunday lunches bring people together, people from different walks of life who can sit around a table, they can share their experiences, and they can create memories together. And at Sasco, that's what we celebrate.
By adding a modern twist to traditional dishes, Temba has created recipes with an experimental kick thanks to this partnership with Sasco. It's absolutely memorable what he's able to create. So what are you waiting for? Gather your friends and your family members together for an amazing Sunday lunch.
Sasco, baking together since 1930.
Now, I don't know what your Monday mood is like, but perhaps you're in a soupy mood this Monday morning. Well, if that's the case, then you know that sometimes the best part of a soup is the bread that comes with it, that you get to dip in there and crunch into, especially if it's freshly baked and loaded with butter and deliciousness. And here to show us how to make an easy clover amasi mili bread is Chef Tash. Good morning, my queen. How are you?
Good morning. I'm awesome. Thanks. How are you?
Very, very well. I hope you had a good weekend.
I had an awesome weekend. My son was not with me, so I had mummy time with hubby.
Oh!
But I love him.
Enter the cornbread. So that's what we're about to make. And I was asking you earlier on whether this is what Americans refer to as
cornbread.
Cornbread.
Yes.
Well, milli bread to
We
us.
would call it milli bread because it's made of milli meal and corn, as you can see.
Excellent.
Milli meal is...
As in baba.
As in bab. Steve bab. Steve bab.
So you've made that and perhaps you have some leftovers from Mawani or the day before. I feel like bab gets better with time. It ages well in a pot.
It definitely does. I'm gonna need your assistance.
Tell me. I'm here. Oh, I'm ready.
Bit.
I'm ready. What do I need to do?
So we are going to put in the egg.
Yes.
And we are putting in amasi. So we are mixing the milli meal, stiff pap with egg. The egg is going to help our bread rise. If you notice here, we've got cheese, we've got corn.
Yes.
We've got milli pap, eggs. We don't have a rising agent, but this is our rising agent because it's got leavening
So eggs can go in?
Yes, eggs go in.
All at the same time?
All at the same time,
Okay, good. I thought I might be messing it up.
Then you mix that up for me.
Should I be using the spatula or?
Use the spatula for now.
Just to start off with,
just to start off. I'm going to put in some salt. It's very important to salt up whatever you do for that taste. Even if you're going to put in sugar.
Wow, okay.
Salt activates the sugar.
Now this is something I've never done before. Mixed in papa and eggs. And it's looking weird. I've got to be honest with you. It's looking very weird, but I'm confident that the final product's gonna be amazing. Okay, so now.
So now we do amasi. Oopsie, sorry.
That's all right. That's absolutely okay. I'm trying to get it to be as smooth a consistency as possible.
Yes.
As you can see, I make a very good assistant in the kitchen. There we go. I'm assuming we're going to get involved with our hands at some point.
At some point,
so we'll be able
to
work out these pop kinks.
So the consistency of the dough that we're looking for is sort of hard. As you can see with the bread there,
yes.
It's a dense bread. It's not a fluffy bread.
Okay, okay. By the way, SMS the keyword clover to 33728, and we'll send you the link to the recipe as well as the ingredients list. Okay,
That looks
when do
good.
we mix that with that?
We've put in our cheese, we've put in our corn.
Mhm.
Okay, maybe I should be using the spatula.
There we go. Okay, I'll let you do that. Of course, remember that Clover Amasi is now available in a bigger 500ml and 1 liter pack.
Yes.
We have actually one of them right over here, and it's fermented milk, and of course does not contain preservatives, which makes it a great ingredient to have
I was
in your fridge.
just going to say, we normally use buttermilk, but Amasi, it's great. It's because it doesn't have the preservatives,
Mhm.
and it adds on to that tangy taste of
Absolutely.
whatever you put it in. You can use it to bake, you can use it to cook. Instead of using cream or sour cream, I use Amasi whenever I cook.
And it's just such a South African product, don't you think?
It is
it's so South
proudly
African.
South African. It is
I mean,
proudly
I remember
South
some of
African.
the best dinners at home, like when there was like no meat, it would just be papa, amasi, and
In
that's
fact,
it.
on a
And that's
hot
it.
day in East London, where I'm from,
Yeah.
we do umpokoko, which is uputu and amasi.
There we go.
don't need meat.
There we go.
Meat-free Mondays.
There we go. There's your meat-free Monday recipe if you're looking for one. And of course, lactic acid is added to the full cream pasteurized milk, causing it to ferment, giving it that distinct flavor and texture that we're describing
Definitely.
right now.
So
you've added more of it.
More of it. So what we are looking for, as I said, we are looking for a nice type of dough
Mhm.
that is a little dense. It's not like your normal bread.
Yes.
Because cornbread is exactly that.
Okay, excellent. Well, while you get mixing and getting into that consistency, because I can see it's quite an art, we're going to quickly give you a recap of how to make this recipe. Take a look.
Definitely.
Do you love the smell of freshly baked bread that's just come out of the oven? How about the taste of millie bread? Then thanks to Clover Amasi, this is the recipe for you. Add 1 cup of Clover Utando full cream mass to 3 cups of self-raising flour. Next, add 1.5 teaspoons of salt, 2 large eggs, and 1 cup of cooked millie pup. Then mix well to combine. Add 100 grams of grated Clover mature cheddar cheese to the batter, followed by 1 tin of whole kernel corn. Then mix to combine again. Spoon the batter into a greased baking tin and bake at 180 degrees Celsius for 40 minutes to an hour until cooked through. Leave the bread to cool slightly before slicing into thick slices. Serve with lashings of clover butter and a good bowl of soup. Winter just got awesome thanks to the super easy mini bread from Clover. Super easy to make and even easier to eat. It's a treat the whole family will love.
Made with love by Clover.
SMS that keyword Clover to 33728 and we'll send you a link to the recipe as well as the ingredients list. And of course, our hero ingredient here is Clover Amasi, as you
Yes.
said, that you use it in your baking instead of butter. It can be used as a substitute. Completely wonderful ingredient to have in your
Definitely.
fridge. Okay, so now you've mixed it.
We've mixed it and it's nicely incorporated.
Mhm.
Even the millie meal, which is, cornbread is exactly that. You put corn in your bread. So millie meal comes from maize,
Mhm.
which enhances the texture and the flavor of our bread.
Mhm.
So you can either, please help me
Yes,
here.
yes, yes. I'll go here and we're going to try and work our way slowly but surely.
So
Are we going
you
to get
can,
all of it in here?
not all of it, because remember it's going to rise a little
that's very
bit because
true.
of our eggs. So you need that space.
So tell me when to stop. That's going to be
I'll
a
tell you
key.
when. Go, 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 go.
There we go. We've got about
That's
3/4 in there. Is that all right?
Perfect. That's all right.
So then
That's
we're going to
quite
just
all
let
right.
it. Here we go. Okay.
So you can either use one small pan, or you can use, 2 small pans, or
Yes.
you can use 1 big pan.
To make a giant loaf.
Yes.
A
but
cornbread.
A giant cornbread. But remember to adjust your cooking time. So the more bigger your bread is, the more cooking time you're going to get.
you go.
And I always do the skewer test. So if you put in your toothpick, or a longer skewer in this case,
Excellent.
it must come out clean.
Wonderful stuff. All right,
Would you
that's
like
how
to
we make it.
taste?
I would love to taste it. I'm going to break. Let's break bread, shall we? There you go,
Together.
Chef Tash. Cheers to you.
Cheers to you.
Monate mpolare.
Mm.
It's so good.
Imagine with clover butter
Oh.
on it. Slathered.
Clover Marcy is a thick, creamy mass your family will love. Made with love by Clover.
Bring the bread. Please bring the bread.
I love it.
Guys,
Bread. Really. Are we that?
Wow, thank you,
That's how Papa brings bread to the table, you know?
Wow.
Papa's out there doing it for the family.
Thanks, Papa. It smells so good.
Papa brings all his
Must we
bread to
just
the yard.
break it into chunks and chop
Okay.
like
Do you
that?
know
or
what, guys?
Here we
What
go,
is
my
your
children.
favorite part of the
Please
bread? I
break me a little
really
piece of
love the
bread.
crust.
Break the bread, man.
You know
Break
what?
the
Have
bread.
this.
I'm a crust
You were raised
person.
well.
It's
You
got
were
to
raised
have
well. You
got to have
respect
crunchy.
the
You got to have.
ingredients.
Nice.
Clover Marcy is a thick, creamy mass your family will love. Made with love by Clover.
Big or small, we've got it all. Everyone will find something at the Crazy Store. It's no wonder South Africa considers the Crazy Store the crazy fun place to shop.
Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni yetu yetu, amina. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni nako litukuzwe. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni yetu yetu, amina. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni nako litukuzwe. Utopula ushekula chetu, dona tohida cheuru samehe makosa yetu. Hey! Katika majaribu lakini na yule Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni yetu yetu, amina. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni lako litukuzwe. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni yetu yetu, amina. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni lako litukuzwe.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to it. It is your feel-good breakfast show, Expresso. What are you doing with my bread now? Right here on SABC3.
How have you not finished it, bro? What were you doing? Did you hide that in your pocket or something?
He was actually singing along to the Cape Town Opera that we were warming up.
Unbelievably
and the sound checking
talented
during
are
the
they?
break. Oh man, the next performance is going to be absolutely amazing. Get your tickets to see them performing on the 20th of July. Tickets are available on CompuTicket. They'll be at the NG Moedergemeente in Kuils River with the Kalen High School's choir as well. That's going to be amazing.
Truly magical. Just the sound check has got kind of the goosebumps going. So we
Just
are going to
get these moves ready.
enjoy
Yeah.
the
Get these moves
feels
ready.
as we get back into those global headlines with Lee.
It's just a little after 8 o'clock this morning. The House says that it is preparing for a battle with the Public Service Administration Department over the latter's plans to cut jobs as it clamps down on the unaffordable public wage bill. The House against a proposal to cut 30,000 jobs while streamlining existing posts. Eastern Cape Premier Oscar Mabuyane says the time has come for young people to start their own businesses. Mabuyane says young people must come up with business ideas and has set aside 150,000 rand to assist young entrepreneurs. Now moving further abroad, Google this weekend introduced its new private subsea cable known as Equinio. It will start in Western Europe and run along the west coast of Africa between Portugal and South Africa, with branching units along the way. Donald Trump has become the first sitting US president to set foot in North Korea after meeting that country's leader Kim Jong-un in the demilitarized zone dividing the two Koreas. And then finally, 8 dedicated youngsters completed a 13-day walk from Durban to Cape Town on Friday to raise awareness and funds for people with intellectual disabilities. Now, they are members of the NPO, Enabling Disability Education Nationally, in Pretoria, and walked a total of 1,643 kilometers. The group hopes to raise 600,000 rand to enroll 100 pupils with disabilities from their hometown Pretoria in a skills development program. Despite the 108,000 rand contributed by the National Lottery, the group's crowdfunding has not raised much due to technical difficulties. However, the 8 are adamant to obtain the funds needed. Last year, the group walked 600 kilometers from Pretoria to Durban and raised 170,000 rand for the Transorania School for the Deaf and the Fanang Diatla Center for the Disabled. Well, that was your 8 o'clock news update. Here's a final look at what's happening in the world of sport with Graham.
Just touching on those major sporting headlines one last time. In the Cricket World Cup yesterday, England ended India's unbeaten run at the ICC Cricket World Cup after beating them by 31 runs in Birmingham last night to reignite their own World Cup campaign. Then in football, South Africa's Percy Tau and star of the show in our 1-0 win over Namibia, Bongani Zungu, they both are hopeful that the team will stick to their game plan and play to their full potential in the Africa Cup of Nations clash up against the big guns Morocco later this evening. Then speaking of big guns, South African athlete Caster Semenya won her favorite event, the 800-meter race at the Prefontaine Classic in Stamford, California, as part of the Diamond League Series late last night. And then in motorsports, with only 2 laps remaining at the Austrian Grand Prix, Red Bull's Max Verstappen passed Ferrari's Charles Leclerc to clinch the win in a very thrilling race at the Red Bull Ring in Spielberg. Then if you're interested, a bit of a dead rubber on the way, but in the Cricket World Cup today, it continues with Sri Lanka up against the West Indies at Riverside Ground from 11:30 South African time. And that's a wrap of your sport for this morning.
Thank you so much, Graham. Let's take a look at your traffic update. Before we do that, let's take a look at a petrol price update. The price of petrol is set to decrease by 95 cents per litre, costing you 15 rand 81 cents per litre. Diesel is set to decrease by 75 cents per litre, costing you 14 rand 46 cents per litre. Now, this is due to a massive drop in international oil prices and definitely set to put a smile on your face this morning. We start off in Gauteng on the update. Johannesburg South on the N12 westbound. There has been an accident before Xavier Street, obstructing 2 lanes. Heavy delays can be expected, so please do be patient on the roads this morning. And in the Western Cape in Langa, there has been an accident on the N2 inbound after Jake's Herval Drive. The emergency lane is currently obstructed, so please approach with caution. And off to the train lines, there is an extended travel time of 15 to 20 minutes. That's on the Cape Flats line due to sets out of service and defective track circuits at Salt River and Wetton. That's where we leave it for now. Here's a final look at your weather.
So we've been asking you to send through your inspiring sunrise pictures. So thank you so much to everyone who has, in particular, Louise G. Cherry for your beautiful sunrise picture from the South Coast in KZN, as well as Ntokozo Makatini for waking up extra early to send this amazing skyline from Johannesburg. And then lastly, to Fata Khan for your sunrise pictures from Hillcrest in KZN. Fata, you sent through a ton of pictures and we really do appreciate it as well. Let's see what the temperatures are looking like in your part of our beautiful land. In Polokwane, you kick off on 6 degrees, going up to 23. The highest temperature in the country, Mbombela, you start off on 10, but going up to 30 degrees as your max. Pretoria ranging between 3 and 21. Johannesburg, a chilly start on 0, going up to 18 degrees. A cold start as well in Mahikeng, 1 degrees, going up to 17. Klerksdorp, -1, going up to just 16 degrees as well. Kimberley, you're ranging between 0 and 12 degrees. Then, as we've seen this entire winter, the lowest temperature in the country, Bloemfontein, -4 degrees, going up to only 11 degrees. Richards Bay ranging between 13 and 31. Pietermaritzburg 4 and 27. You will have some thunder showers there as well. Durbs ranging between 13 and 27 with some rain expected. Umtata ranging between 5 and 21 degrees. East London, your low 11 going up to 21 degrees. In Craddock, your low 6 degrees, or 0 rather, going up to just 14 degrees. And then heavy rainfall expected in Port Elizabeth. 8 degrees as your low, going up to 18 degrees with some rain expected. Northwesterly wind of 32 kilometers an hour as well. Then in George, your low is 8, going up to 15 degrees with some rain expected. Then a westerly wind of around 28 kilometers an hour as well. Sutherland, a chilly start as we'd expect, 0 and a chilly maximum as well, just 6 degrees. Cape Town in the mother city, 12 degrees your low, going up to a moderate 16 with some occasional showers expected. Moving a little further inland, 6 degrees your low in Worcester, going up to 13 degrees. And with that rain, high humidity expected as well. Springbok, chilly start, 1 degrees, going up to only 11 degrees. Likewise, Uppington, starting on a paltry 2 degrees, going up to only 14 degrees today with some cloud cover expected. Wherever you find yourself, make sure it's a beautiful day despite the weather.
Well, this Monday morning has started on a fantastic note with the Cape Town Opera in our Feel Good studio joining us. And of course, you can join them for a live performance on the 20th of July at the NG Moedergemeente in Kales River, them featuring the Decalen Girls Choir. And of course, they'll be bringing forth great music as they're about to do right now with their edition of Baba Yetu.
Amina baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe. Utupula uchekula chetu, tunatohita cheudo samehe makosa yetu. Katika majaribu lakini utoba yetu baba yetu yetu. Baba yetu yetu niye mbinguni yetu yetu. Amina baba yetu yetu. Amina baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe. Baba yetu yetu liye mbinguni yetu yetu. Amina baba yetu yetu liye jina lako litukuzwe. Utupula uchekula chetu, tunatohita cheudo samehe makosa yetu. Katika majaribu lakini
Science reaches for the truth. It works for the big and small, for the old and young. And with knowledge as our first ingredient, science is at the heart of our food. For differences you can see, feel, and trust. It all starts with science.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to you on your Monday morning, the feel-good edition of your feel-good breakfast show. That's how we get your week started off. And of course, when you hear that doodling, you see that like button there, that heart, you know it's relationship talk time, and that's what we're all about right now. Now, most people consider the relationship progression to happen in a structured way. You meet each other, then you court each other and date, and then when the time feels right, you'll then discuss things like commitment to a partner or with each other. But as we all know, sometimes life isn't as simple and as well planned as that. And you may be stuck not knowing whether you are in a committed relationship with someone or not. Are you in a situationship, as some people like to call it? How do we define it? What's the label we put on this?
It's complicated.
Some people choose that too.
So today we're asking, how do you know when you should commit to your partner? Are you together with someone you are not sure you're in a relationship with? Well, Dr. Eve is in the building to help us discuss this hot topic, and we would love to hear from you, hear your questions, hear your comments as well. This is a safe space. So why don't you head over to our Facebook page, drop a comment in the post, and we'll be sure to engage with you live.
Yeah, Dr. Eve, thank you very much for joining us.
Yeah.
I was quite surprised to see that a lot of people, in fact, I think 55% of the people that you asked on Twitter were saying that they're actually quite proud to say that they're in a committed relationship.
wow.
That's the label. Sorry, I'm only doing that because that was the bar. You know what I mean? That they chose, that they clicked on.
Not.
No, well, you might as
Okay.
well. But
Yeah.
so people are all about labeling relationships, right? It's very
know.
important to them. Why is that so important
I know.
to label a relationship?
Yeah, we want to feel kind of safe in situations that we're in. And so people find a label of kinds, and then they feel, okay, now I can relax and I know that I've caught this person. Because what people really want to know is that I can trust this person, and this person, which means they'll be monogamous, they'll only be sexually exclusive with me, and that also this person's not going to leave me. So they imagine that if I kind of lock it in that way, that ensures or assures me that I'm now in this thing called a relationship. Because we still unfortunately live in a space where we idealize relationships and we think if we're in one, our lives are going to be better. It's kind of like the princess and the prince situation. And that makes us feel as if we are now safe and we can get on with life.
Yeah.
It also changes things substantially for people. And I'm really curious to hear from the viewers, which is why the poll is there, to find out what feels better for them. And let's get honest.
Yeah.
Let's get down and dirty and honest around this topic. Around, are you in a relationship that really serves you well, or are you in a relationship because you just want the label of being in a relationship? Yeah, because I think also that oftentimes people stay in a relationship because they like the label more than they like the relationship. And today we have a whole variety of relationship titles or labels that I'd really like people to tell us what their relationship label is and why they stay in it. Because the moment that you're in that, we kind of go into a drop-down menu immediately of expectations. And this is what we now expect from you. I mean, it was really interesting. I was working with somebody recently in my therapy room. He was telling me they'd lived together with their partner for something like 9 years. And they got married. And she said from the day they got married, things changed.
Oh, wow.
And I mean, I hear this really often, and there's research around this as well. I said, you're like, and what kind of things changed now that you changed the label of your relationship? And she said, well, suddenly he kind of got quite demanding. And he kind of got into this traditional role of this is what you are, you're the wife, and you've got to stop working, and we're going to have some kids, and you're going to tell him to look after the kids, and she had to give up her career. And he suddenly became the man, and he got into a new business, and he began to feel this primitive instinct of, needing to provide and to protect. And so their relationship just went like that.
Oh, wow.
Went like that, and the sexuality stopped, the intimacy stopped, and all she wants is just to kind of go back to how it was. So there is real definite changes that happen when we change our label.
Yeah.
We'll talk more about the difference between a no-label relationship and a labeled relationship.
Exactly.
And love the viewers to tell us their experiences of that.
Exactly, and also why it's so important that both people in a relationship understand what stage of the relationship
Very
you're
important.
in. Huh? Yes, more with Dr. Eve after this.
There is one person we love so much in this world because she is gorgeous. I kind of feel like we have a relationship. Maybe it's time to take our relationship to the next level.
Okay.
Okay. We're going to dip.
I'm
Tash,
ready.
we absolutely love you because you always look gorgeous. You put so much time and effort into our team and being a part of this. And we're going to find out from you exactly what kind of person you are today.
Yeah. We're
how
getting to know each other
dip.
better.
No pressure at all.
I've got to ask, do you have a favorite Omar Rusk? A lot of people are digging the chocolate chip, man.
I don't do a lot of sugar in the morning,
Okay.
but I love raisin and apple. So it's got that nice, crunchy, mushy sweetness.
I love it.
Yeah. Okay, well, we're going to get into it. And Omar Rusks, they've given us these really nice cups. They've all got like a different message to them that speaks to the time of day that you like to dip. The first one is the after party dip. If you are that person who goes out and then you want to, dip it after.
Life is a party, so I'm always on the after party mood.
You're always on that vibe. I saw you
I'm
eyeballing
that
this
girl.
After you use that term eyeballing, now I use it with everyone. I'm eyeballing that. I'm eyeballing that steak. I'm eyeballing that mini bread.
And chefs are not supposed to eyeball, right?
No, I don't know. When you've got eyes that gorgeous, you can eyeball whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay.
Always.
And
Morning, noon, and night.
So what's your hashtag?
Morning, noon, and night. I like that. Hashtag always.
Actually, this is chocolate chip, right?
Yes.
Chocolate is a girl's best friend.
Yeah.
So it's my favorite as well.
I don't think you've been listening to me talk for the last 20 minutes. Once you heard the chocolate chip thing, I've just trained and you were like, wah-ka-chung. They are delicious and the size is perfect. Everything. It's just ideal to
Get
dip.
in there. Take a bite. Dip one.
Okay, please.
And while you're dipping that one, tell me, be honest,
Honestly.
no judgment here. This is a really safe zone.
It is.
How many can you dip in one session?
Just one.
Just one. Are you sure?
One
Look
good
me in
one.
the eye.
One good one.
It has to be very good.
One good one.
Okay.
What if
I believe you.
What if you ate it and you were distracted, like you had two guys constantly talking and everything, and you were like, oh, okay, I didn't really fully enjoy that. Would you have two? Would you have another one?
But seeing that it's the after party, maybe we can go for 3, 4.
Okay, and the truth and the
Just keep that party
real
going.
number comes
Well,
out.
we love you for your honesty. We love the fact that you're a part of our family every morning. So thank you so much. We won't make you talk anymore. You can have a little nibble there.
I can't even hear anything that you're saying. I want this chocolate in my body.
Ah, man, I'm going to join you just now. It's a brand new weekend. We have a brand new competition for you with another chance to win big with Omar Rusks. We want to know from you if you could turn your favorite dipping time into a hashtag like these mugs, what would it be and why?
Oh, I absolutely love that. Now, one lucky winner will walk away with a 2,000 Rand Swatch watch voucher and 500 Rands worth of Omar Rusks and mugs, so you really can personalize. So have a little fun, enter the competition, let us know on Expresso's Facebook page or on Twitter, and remember all the terms and conditions can be found on expressoshow.com.
It's nice, hey Tash?
Dip
You're
away.
enjoying that?
Because the chocolate kind of
Huh?
melts a little bit.
You're getting in
like
there.
it's, okay.
It's winter and
Dude, I'm surprised you didn't pull a
hitting
muscle.
all the right
Anytime is dipping time.
It's Monday, so we're talking relationships, and today our relationship expert, Dr. Eve, is in the hot seat to help us discuss what we should be discovering, or rather considering, when we decide to commit to a partner. Now, we would love to hear your questions and your comments, so you can head over to our Facebook page, drop us a comment in the post, and we will engage with you. It's all about relationship labels, and before we went, I wanted to know how important is it for both partners in the relationship to know exactly at what stage the relationship is at.
So we're in a generational phase now, which is no love. This is kind of what the theme is of this generation. Millennials, from the millennials going downwards, I mean Generation Z, Generation X even worse so. They don't want to be labeling themselves into, I'm catching feelings for you. You're not supposed to catch feelings, and if you do catch feelings, then the whole thing has to end because that's not what we're supposed to be feeling right now. And yet it's the absolute antithesis of instinct of how we are as human beings. We long to connect. We long to feel safe. And the one way we feel safe is by labeling a relationship into this commitment, locking it down. I'm repeating, we want to lock it down and we want to feel the safety of that experience. But we're not allowed that vulnerability today. It's not seen as being cool. And so people feel quite scattered and quite messy in relationships. So you ask about the commitment. When one person feels I am committed and the other person is not really sure what that is, or there's a deliberation of we are not going to be committed. And it has some benefits to it.
Really?
Yeah, it has benefits.
What kind of benefits come with
because
not
the
being
moment
committed?
that you put this label of we're in a relationship or we're a couple, friends and family totally treat you differently. I'm sure you've both had that experience. The minute you're in a relationship, like then you get invited to dinner parties, then you like people you haven't seen for years.
Other married people.
Now you're expected to be at dinner parties. You're expected to be at
But
at
also
a Sunday
other married
lunch type of
couples
thing.
also invite you. Where before they were just like, no, that girl needs to stay at home. You know, it's like
100%.
we were friends to start off with.
So that puts some pressure on you as well. And also puts pressure on what you expect from each other, obligations, I said earlier, what you have of each other. That includes more sexual frequency, more sexual contact, goes into sometimes the traditional roles, which I explained to you earlier on as well. So it can be quite cumbersome to have this label on you.
Yeah. I've got a question, because you've dropped some gems. You're talking about, the scroll down menu of
Yeah,
expectations. Why is it that when the label changes, the expectations change? I mean, you were talking about that example of what you've encountered in practice where this couple were doing great and then they decided to get married, and when they got married, things changed. The relationship was no longer the same. Why do we do that?
We go into the traditional role because I don't think we're creative enough, Kat. I think we're creative enough to say, well, actually, we now have this thing called a relationship. Let's move away from what the imagery says or the movies or the media says it has to be, or what our parents have done in the past. And what can we create? Because what do people really long for in a relationship? We want to feel held. We want to feel as if we belong and that we're safe. But we also want freedom, which is why people commit to infidelity, because they long for that just little private place they can creep into the corner and have a little thing on their own and still feel the freedom and not so trapped in with each other. So that's an important part of actually defining a relationship in any way you want to, being creative with it without having to have the burden of the label. Don't let the label be a burden for you. We want to feel safe. And oftentimes, couples become couples without having to call it a relationship. So let's look at some of the criteria of what would make a relationship.
We're going to take a look at that
back.
after the break, because I'm still stuck on that corner that you were talking about and the freedom leading to that corner. I don't know what that means, so we'll ask the question after the break. Stay tuned. We'll be back with your Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Enjoy a moment in between with McAfee. See you after the break.
Bon boy.
Bon boy.
Discover the new language of travel. Marriott Bonvoy. 30 hotel brands, endless experiences, rewards reimagined.
It's my Feel Good Breakfast Show.
Welcome back. It is your feel-good breakfast show. Dr. Eve's got the giggles. Because we're talking about a rather, it's not a giggle-worthy topic, but with regards to relationships, it's about labeling relationships and why things change when the label of the relationship changes. If you guys were happy the way that you were and you were moving steadily towards, let's say, that commitment, why is it when you give it that official commitment tag, things change? What's going on in our psyche? What's going on social media?
Well, let's head to social media where we asked you the question, do you know when you should commit to your partner for the long run? Today we are chatting to Dr. Eve about commitment, lifelong partners and everything in between. Let's check out. Ndile says, I'm 24 and he is 38. We are living together, but he is not ready. He has a mind of a teenage boy. I can't do it anymore and I don't believe in love. That's quite interesting. Another one says, Sandele, you should commit to your partner when you really know the person deep down and know everything about their true identity. Powerful. And then Suzanne says, I'm interested in someone who is hot and then cold. I'm thinking he's not really into me. Please help.
Oh, that's so sore, that one.
That's
hot and cold and unpredictable. So maybe he's catching feelings, this is Susanna. Maybe he's catching feelings and he doesn't want to be, tied down.
So is it then where the partner needs to go and have a conversation, a very candid one with said partner and say, we need to put a label on this relationship?
We need to tie this thing down.
Is that when it's supposed to happen?
Think about why is it that we don't do this talk? Because we're afraid. What are we most afraid of? Is
rejection.
Thank you. We're afraid of rejection. So this generation or us now have learned that it's not okay to even begin that conversation because we don't have a right to, because the fear of risking heartbreak is so big that it actually overtakes any kind of need for commitment and feeling safe. And that's what makes me feel most sad, is that we're afraid of stepping in to that, into that, what I call that circle.
You're always one foot in, one foot out.
That's the hot and the cold. I want to be there, but I don't. But I want to say to her and to anyone else who's engaging in that, you don't have to take that. You don't have to have the conversation. You have the conversation. You say, look, I am not tolerant of this. I am not confident. I'm not feeling good about this kind of relationship. And so it's not his choice, either I'm in or out. I'm telling you that I'm not going to be in because it feels too unsettling for me to be in. You just
and then be secure enough then in yourself to go, I'm going to step out and I'm actually making the choice to let this go. I'm not asking 100%. You whether you want to or not.
And I'm so pleased that you said that and not Leanne or I, because it's usually the woman who's still standing back and still waiting for the man to make the choice or the decision, I'm in or I'm not. Because we still have this belief that men have to be the one to say, first, I love you, or men have to be the one to say, will you be in a relationship? Or, I mean, what is this thing about men having to
even the dependence on the man to be the provider? Because I think once you've handed over that role and now you're so dependent on it, to walk away with nothing, once you've been accustomed to a certain way of life, is even harder.
Well, we never want that for women. Because it traps them into relationships that are unhappy or unhealthy for them as well.
100%.
Okay. So we need to take a break. So we really want to think about the story of labels. I think that this is an unrealistic expectation to be in a situation where you don't catch feelings. We want people to catch feelings. I want people to catch feelings. It's beautiful to catch feelings. It's beautiful to feel the pain and the ache of love and the pain and the ache of rejection. And you got to take the risk of that. Otherwise, it's just too lonely. And when we're lonely, we become depressed and very unhappy. So we want people to really find their space and be creative with the label.
Yeah. All right, we're going to delve into a little bit more of that creativity and how you can hopefully make it easier for yourself to function in your relationship with Dr. Eve in a second.
Oh, thank you so much for handling that with kid gloves. So I'm catching feelings right now, and I can put a label on it. It is a nil, and it is mayonnaise. And we've been loving our Be Well range. We've obviously cooked a lot with the oils, and I'm really impressed with the smoke point of their fried well oil, the canola oil, the health benefits, all of those. But something we haven't really delved into is the incredible range of mayonnaises. So today, Anel Portreter has jumped into the kitchen and whipped up some next level mayonnaise variations, whether it's roast garlic glory, and I've been smelling that. Honey and mustard magic. We've got you covered. Let's get busy. And now, are you ready?
Yes,
You
I'm
well?
ready. Yes,
it's going to
I'm
be a
great.
superstar. Now,
Yes.
I love the range already. We've got from the premium, the really creamy, absolutely love the thick and creamy, to the more tangy, to all of the kind of health benefits that are
Yes.
attached to it. But take us through the rundown here, because we've got some very different flavor profiles.
Yes, so mayonnaise is amazing. We all love mayonnaise. But with simple ingredients, you can pump it up to something ridiculously fabulous, delicious. And that's what we're going to do today.
We're going to do
So
this.
firstly, I'm going to use the creamy, thick and creamy mayonnaise, about a cupful.
I love that. And even though we're using the thick and creamy here, you'll notice that little heart on the cover. The only mayo endorsed by the Heart and Stroke Foundation of South Africa. The only one. And it carries the Cancer Smart Choice seal, which is a massive endorsement. Really, really
It
important.
is. Then I've got some roasted garlic here.
How do you roast it? Because that looks like a
Yeah.
completely different consistency. It's almost turned
Smell
into
it.
like a garlic paste, and it's creamy.
And it's sweet, yeah. So what you do, you just take a whole bowl of garlic, you put it in the oven, 180 degrees, and let it bake for about a half an hour, 45 minutes.
Okay,
That's
let it really
And then you
quiet,
actually just push the
Squeeze it out
beautiful,
like a tube of toothpaste.
Yes, like a tube, and that becomes like jammy consistency, as you say. So we've got that in there. We're going to add a little bit of honey, for a bit of sweetness. And to break the sweetness, just a touch of vinegar.
Okay,
just
again,
to break
I
that.
mean, you guys have taught us so much, but the balance.
Yeah,
just
balance.
always balance everything else. Sweet with a bit of savory. If you've got that smoky with a little, or the peppery vibe, a little bit of acidity in there as well to balance out the sweet.
And to add to the smokiness of the garlic, we've added a bit of smoked paprika.
Oh, I love that. And
And
that's
that
the
is
big thing at the
it.
moment is smoking chili flakes,
Yeah,
smoking paprika. You can get some wonderful variants, and that adds a little bit of spice as well.
Can you imagine taking a roasted potato, a warm one, and you just...
I'm imagining it right now.
No,
I am. I was going to ask if you're doing this for me or for someone else. The beautiful thing here is obviously it's enriched in vitamin E. There's omega-3s in there, helps lower the risk of heart disease, depression, and arthritis, believe it or not.
Now we're going to the second one. How does that taste? Isn't that just...
Just get out. No, get out of here. Go.
Isn't that just gorgeous and delicious?
I'm going to have another taste just to be careful.
So I'm going to use the tangy mayonnaise now. And because it's tangy, you don't need to add acidity, because it's already like a little bit of acidity.
It's got the zing already,
You
yeah,
got-
for sure.
I'm going to add a bit of honey,
Okay,
just
and
to
a bit-
sweeten it a little bit.
And obviously a bit more honey here because you're wanting the honey flavor to kind of come through a little bit because this is honey mustard.
Yeah. And then we've got some korreltjie mosterd, like...
The
wat is die? Dijon. Yeah, hier is a Dijon. This is a Dijon, that one. And you can put
And
any
you've got whole
mustard
grain
in.
and Dijon together.
Yes.
I like. It's nice to have the consistency as well, so people can see what they're eating.
Yes, so that is what it looks like. It's a beautiful color. And that whole grain pops in your mouth when you eat it. And we're going to make a little bit of a chicken mayo here. Look at that.
Love that. That's next level chicken mayo.
I know, that
You've
is.
shredded that beautifully.
In here.
And if you're going to add other ingredients, make sure that they are locally sourced, because everything that goes into the Be Well range made exclusively using locally sourced GMO-free canola oil, which is a massive endorsement again as well.
Look at that. Isn't that just
It makes me
divine?
proud to be South African. Oh, that is nice.
Divine. Look at that. So
Who
what
just
I'm
wants
going
a
to
chicken
do...
mayo when you can have a honey mustard chicken mayo?
Exactly. I'm going to give you a little bit of this to taste as well, because I do believe in tasting.
No,
as
of course,
we
I
go
have
along.
to. I mean, why else am I here? I'm clearly not to cook. So if my role is not tasting... Okay, then we move on to our next variant here.
This is 47 reduced fat. This is what I need, actually, to use mayonnaise that I need to use. So, and we're going to use this for a salad. But it doesn't taste reduced in fat. It still tastes rich and creamy and delicious. How was that?
Oh, it was amazing.
Delicious.
And I see what you mean. The whole grain, it's like little surprises, and they're just like... Bish, bish.
Pop open in your mouth.
I know we've covered a lot of ground here. If you want these ingredients sent directly to you, you've got to SMS the keyword Be Well to 33728, and we will send that directly to you. So we've got our mayo, our reduced oil mayo. We've thrown in a little bit of
lemon juice, a bit of chives, and a
nice.
bit of lemon zest, lime zest.
Oh, nice.
So this is going to be like really beautiful and zesty. And just look at that creaminess, that zestiness.
Nelly, it's always a good sign when I can barely talk because my mouth is watering so much. Absolutely delicious,
I've
man.
got the same type of problem now.
I love it. I mean,
breakfast.
another fantastic variant, the olive and canola. If you don't have the time to spice up or add any special ingredients, you can go with something that really has an amazing flavor profile. In fact, just as a base, most of them have a fantastic flavor starting off with.
I love this specifically because it's got that olive oil flavor. How does that taste? It's like zingy, tangy. It's perfect for a salad.
Oh man, and you brought up the best in each one of the variants as well. So again, the keyword is be well to 33728. You too can have a mouth that's watering as much as mine. I'm just gonna. Can you have mayonnaise sandwiches? Is that a thing? Can you just have like a mayo sandwich?
Especially with these ones.
You've outdone yourself with this. This is
Thank
absolutely
you.
amazing.
Look at this.
Which one? Which one?
Look.
Here we
Here we go, back again with
Wow.
Dr. Eve. And we're talking relationships and labeling them. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? How much choice do you have in making this decision? Maybe let's focus on that.
Yeah, we've got a poll. We've got a poll quickly.
Yes,
Can
yes,
we-
yes.
can we- it's currently on Twitter. The poll says, Dr. Eve is asking how you want to label your relationship. And this is what people are saying. 53% are saying you label your relationship as committed, 6% as dating, 11% as friends with benefits, and then 30% no label.
That's
so
quite
committed,
impressive.
no label,
Yeah.
friends with benefits, and dating coming in last.
Yeah, that's quite impressive. And I'm wondering, no label, whose decision is that? As we were saying earlier on, is it one or is it both? Or is it somebody who they've decided together they don't want the obligations and commitments that come with a label? But the commitment one is what one would expect.
Exactly.
People want to feel that, they want to feel safe and secure in a relationship.
And you know where you're going.
What is a no
Well,
label?
I don't know if we know where we're going, because that's
Yeah,
where I
but
think
also-
people have a problem, is that they then go into the escalator relationship, where we start out, as you started out the show talking about, Kat, we start out with the dating, and then we know the next step is we
Yes.
court, and then we date, and then we're going to get engaged, we're going to get married, we're going to have some kids, we're going to live together. I mean, that's gone. We know that. We've spoken about it on the
Okay.
show
Yeah.
before. That doesn't happen anymore. But we want to have, in whatever we've created, a feeling. We want the feeling of being safe with this person. And this person is going to be there. And this person is going to be spending weekends with us. And this person is going to just be on your phone and be available and reciprocating and be present.
Is it fair to say that relationships may start as no label, but eventually people will catch feelings, they will feel a need to be secure in a relationship. So at some point or another, you are going to have to label it, right? May we say that?
Well, I'm going to just contradict you one thing. People do catch feelings.
Yes.
They
Yes,
just
yes,
don't-
yes.
They just don't want to talk about it. And then it can't be sustained. It can't be in a stasis where nothing happens. Things have to be shifting. And one person is going to push the other one to shift it in a direction until somebody like says, okay, we're now in this thing called a relationship, or we're going to kind of be engaged. And everyone like, oh, we can take a breath. And then it's like, okay, now we expect to spend every weekend together. Now we expect to have sex more frequently. And it's like, oh, I'm so unhappy. Let me have some infidelity on this.
Oh, wow.
I'm giving a very dark picture of what it is.
Yeah.
Obviously, we want people to feel safe in a relationship, and for both people to have equal rights to be able to say, I want something more.
Yeah.
And that more could be a label, it could be a ring, it could be some kind of sign that you are with me, I can trust you, we're going to be sexually exclusive, and that you're not going to leave me.
Yeah.
Sure.
All right,
Well,
Dr.
there you
Eve,
go.
thank you very much for joining us once again. We appreciate your voting on the poll and all the lovely comments. Do keep them coming.
Yeah.
And it also helps us just kind of get our heads thinking about our next topics of conversation as well.
Exactly. Well, of course, we all need to be willing to adjust our individual parts so that relationships can thrive, but we also need to be wary of holding a person to a partnership that might not fulfill them. It's not easy to devote one's heart, mind, and soul to someone else, but couples who successfully make it happen could not consider living any other way. So, all the best.
Cadbury Dairy Milk shines a light on the generosity alive in each of us. Bring your old toys to any of the Cadbury Dairy Milk's pop-up Little Generosity shops in major centres this winter and receive a slab of Cadbury Dairy Milk chocolate. Get to Durban's Gateway Mall Little Generosity shop from the 25th of June until the 8th of July with your toys, and let's inspire a little more Cadbury Dairy Milk goodness in the world.
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Dry July jokes coming through on Facebook.
I got to say, people are being quite cheeky and naughty. There's a fair few of the jokes that are coming through. We cannot, unfortunately, say on breakfast TV. But a lot of people weighing in saying, and of course, blondes bearing the brunt. You cannot put blondes in that division anymore. It's not allowed. It's actually hilarious. I can't actually bring you any of these. I am going to send a happy birthday to the guys who like Little Bonga, who's having a birthday month. But I'm going to say try a little bit harder. Guys, try a little bit harder.
I love you. Right. Well, listen, after a dedicated career as a nursing sister, you might think a married mother of 2 daughters would cherish the time she now gets with her husband and children. And then, of course, the reward of a pension to sustain her. But instead, we're about to meet some woman, she is incredible, who sees her whole community as a family in need, who chose to invest her skills, her money, time, and future in that extended family. For some people, their 9 to 5 is more than just a job to get them by, but a calling that sees them going beyond their title. That is certainly the case with our Mandela Monday hero today, Olivia Farrow, a professional nurse with over 2 decades experience who left her previous job to start her own clinic. All of this to better service the community of Atlantis, who are in dire need of the service because of huge unemployment. More than 2 decades later, you decided to start your own clinic. What motivated you to do this?
My motivation was the community wasn't getting the service that they deserve to get, and there was an outpour of complaints. So I've decided to start my own clinic, so here we are.
Sister Farrow, what drew you to nursing as a career?
Nursing was never my first choice. I wanted to be a social worker. This was part of my mother's dream because she was a nurse. So she asked me to apply. At the time, there was 4 nursing colleges. I applied just to 1, and I was accepted. So that being said, I think I didn't choose nursing. Nursing chose me.
I believe that you used your own pension money to start this.
I've used my own pension money because I wanted to help the community. I didn't want to wait on any investor to chip in with money. So my pension money was available to me, and I wanted to help this community with it.
A lot of the community members here struggle with transport getting to the hospital. Do you provide some home visits?
We do dial nurse based on past experiences where I saw people struggling to get their people to the hospital. So we've got this dial nurse service between 8 and 6 from Monday to Friday. And dial nurse service is pertaining to bedridden people.
What services do you provide to the community?
Our service is comprehensive. It's consultations, it's child health, it's women's health, it's occupational health and safety, it's mental health, it's health education. Health education is the backbone of primary health care. So we don't want people just to take pills. We need to educate people how to live better. Then we're doing wound care, we're doing our dial nurse services, family planning, HIV and TB, and immunization.
I must say they're very professional and they're very good in the work that they do here for people in the community. And I think this was a very good thing that they opened this clinic here in this building near to other people. I think it's privilegeable for our people as a community because everybody doesn't have medical aid or can't afford expensive doctors' surgeries. So this makes it more convenient for our community.
Ik ga vandaag voor het treatment en omdat het verniet is gratis, is het een groot hulp voor mij. En ik werk voor EPW en ons het een 4 maanden contract gekregen. So geld is een beetje van een probleem en ons waardeer dat wat Sister Farrow voor ons doen in onze gemeenschappen. Die kosten van de dag en daarom maakt zij het voor ons bekostigbaar en ons is zo blij vir haar wat die deure hier oopgemaak het, die kliniek.
What are some of your future plans for the clinic?
My future plan for the clinic is definitely to attach other services to it, like for example a vrouwcare. There's no vrouwcare center in Atlantis, and it's a thing that we desperately needed. Within 3 years, hopefully, we will be there.
With her team of qualified nurses, administrative clerks, an assistant clerk and cleaner, Sister Farrow and her clinic are lighting the way for other communities to follow, and they can use your support.
All right, we've got one more live performance coming your way from Cape Town Opera, something that sounds a little bit like this.
In the water, wade in the water, chill and wade in the water. God's gone trouble the water. Oh, wade in the water, wade in the water, chill and wade.
Get to a crazy store in your town this school holiday and discover a treasure trove of arts and crafts for the whole family to enjoy, as always, at great value. Paper, paints, modeling clay, sketchbooks, glitter, crayons, aprons, rubber stamps, ribbons, felt tip pens, learn to paint sets, and a whole universe of creative fun at crazy good value. Only at the Crazy Store. Holidaying near or far, there'll be one just about wherever you are. Get to a
It's my feel-good breakfast show.
Welcome back to your Feel Good Breakfast Show. Happy Monday, and thanks for joining us at the start of a brand new week. We've enjoyed the start with, of course, Cape Town Opera in the studio, entertaining us and, of course, preparing us for that big show coming up on the 20th of July.
Yeah.
That's happening here in Cape Town, in fact, in Kuils River at the
Kuils
inn
River,
here,
yeah.
Moeder Gemeente. What is it that people can expect from a Cape Town Opera show that they wouldn't ordinarily see?
All their senses will be tickled all the way through, from the word go to the end of the show.
Yeah.
They will be involved in the show. We will make sure that everyone that comes to the show leaves there happy and wanting more.
Fantastic. The repertoire, what does it span? Where does it
There's some spirituals, there's some opera, and melodies that people will enjoy and that people are familiar with.
Yes, fantastic stuff. Well, we're looking forward to it. Good luck with the show. I'm sure
Thank
it's going
you.
to be absolutely fantastic. What's the last number you prepared for us?
Wade in the water.
Take it away.
Thank you.
Wade in the water. Wade in the water, children. Wade in the water. God's gone trouble the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. In the water. In the water. trouble the water. Wade, water. In the water. Wade in the water. In the water. Swim in the water. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wade. See that man dressed in white. God's gonna trouble the water. It moves like the band of Israelites. God's gonna trouble the water. See that man dressed in red. God's gonna trouble the water. It moves like the band that Moses led. God's gonna trouble the water. Wait, water. In the water. Wait in the water. In the water. Chill in the water. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Wait, wait. In the water. Wade. In the water. Chill and wade. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, wade. In the water. Wade. In the water. Chill and wade. In the water. God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, wade in the water. Wade in the water. Wade in the water. Chill and wade in the water. Water. God's gonna trouble the water. Oh, wade in the water. Wade in the water. Chill and wade in the water. God's gonna trouble the water.
Morning show made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.